Yes, y'all, you know what it is. It's them kids and wives and 925s, but we are still married to the games. Episode 346. For your ears. It's your boy Gabe Patillo with Tim Router, Ed Placencia, and Chris McCracken, of course. And as always, we are talking games and life and games. Thank you guys so much for being here. We enjoy your presence.
Yeah.
And your place in our lives.
I'd love it when you send presents. Absolutely.
We do enjoy your presence.
That too. For sure. Well, we had it's May, you guys.
Oh man, it is.
It is
like,
May.
We're
gonna be
1
May.
month away from being halfway through this year.
That's insane.
Man.
Which is just crazy.
Right?
Oh, my goodness. And two of you were together this last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, you were.
As the visiting team, Edward,
Yes.
please share with us how your time in Dallas was
And
your journey home.
Hated every minute of it.
man, I just I had a great time. Of course, the last time we talked, I was in Dallas.
Yes.
And so
You had just arrived, basically.
just arrived that day, yeah. And so it was really nice. We had Wednesday and Thursday and Friday where we didn't have anything planned. And I love Chris and Stacy as a host because they're super chill. You know, they're not the people that are like, here's the itinerary, here's what we're going to try to do.
I know that's right.
You know,
Love
and
that.
it's just, yeah, whatever happens. And, you know, if we find adventures, we find adventures. And it was just really nice. You know, we had a game night and got together with Katie and Kale and some of their other friends, Jason and Lisa. Was that
Yes.
it? Oh,
Nailed it.
nailed it. And I also got to meet Mama Bread Fan, which was
What?
nice.
We were able to make that
Yes.
happen.
Yes.
She's the best.
She is amazing. It was so cool to meet her and say hello. We got to meet her at her place of work. She is an assistant.
Which is just a house.
Yeah, she's an assistant for someone who like works out of their house, and it's decorated very uniquely.
There you go.
Yeah, this is true.
That's a good word. Good word.
Yep, very. When did we get to Cracker Barrel? But it was
Yeah.
it was very. It was fun. It was great meeting Mama Bread Fan. She is a sweetheart, just as sweet as she is online through her tweets and her Facebook posts and what have you. It was really nice to meet her. And then, of course, we got to the Overwatch League games on Saturday and Sunday.
Yep.
And I just got to say, not that I've been to a lot, but as far as a gaming experience goes, this was the favorite thing I've ever been to.
Are you serious? Was it that great?
Yeah.
It's because we didn't get into the press conferences. That's why you liked it so much.
I know, right?
There you go.
Well, no, it was, you know, like E3 was cool, but, you know, after a couple hours of just kind of like milling through a crowd and a sea of people that are shoulder to shoulder, you know, you were kind of like, I've seen this before, where with the Overwatch League, it was just, when it was on, it was on. And there was just so much to see. You know, we walk in, and as soon as you walk into the arena, you're right next to where they had the casters set up. They were on the floor as well, just in the very back. And we got to say hi to the casters. They were super friendly. Puckett was at the desk, and I kind of just leaned in and said, "Hey, Puckett." And he turned around. I said, "Hey, I just want to say you guys are doing a great job." And he got up out of his seat and came over, and he's like, "Hey, how are you? What's going on?" And they were just very accommodating.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was really cool. Got to talk to Zoe a little bit, and just to see them do their thing, and the cosplay that was there, and the crowd was incredible.
You got a picture of May for your boy.
I got a picture of May for you. I got a picture with Soldier and Brigitte and a really cool Diva and Reinhardt and a Tracer. And just so much fun. The crowd was electric.
Let me ask you something real quick. As you're meeting these cosplayers, do you hear them saying the lines, or do they stay away from the lines?
No, they didn't really say the lines. I asked it looked like the Soldier and the Brigitte may have been a couple, And I just said, "Hey, you guys look great. How long did this take?" And she said, "About 3 days." And he said, "No, it was like 3 weeks." So it was,
that's hilarious.
it was very funny.
That's a couple for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was just really cool. There was a really nice Ash and McCree that was there.
Yeah.
It just everywhere you looked, there was something cool to see. London won their first game, which was great. And then Dallas played their first game against who do you guys play the first day?
The first
LA
day,
Valiant?
Yeah, it was against the Valiant.
And they pulled out a win, and the crowd was just, it was amazing. You know, they introduced the players, they had them walk through at the very back of the arena all the way to the front, and the crowd went nuts.
Yep, because all the other teams, they would, if anybody's watched Overwatch League, whenever it's like halftime or the game's over, the players they'll greet each other, whatever, but then they'll go through this little opening that's in the back, and that's how they exit.
Right.
And this way, that was how the players for every team came in, except Dallas, which, you know, you kind of had to expect that, being that it was the home team, that they were going to do like more of a bigger entrance, because in Blizzard Arena, which is a much smaller venue, everybody just goes down the center. Every team does.
Right.
But it was a much longer pathway than it would be at Blizzard Arena. So, but we knew there was going to be something, and they just, like, they had the pyrotechnics going off, and they're like going down and carrying the flag and all that kinds of stuff. So
it was so cool, and just hearing how crazy the crowd went. You know, we knew that the next day when it was Dallas versus Houston, two Texas teams, the battle for Texas.
Yeah,
you know, Chris and I were just like, that match is going to be crazy. And it was
it was nice.
So much fun.
Did it feel like 9,000 people?
So it turns out, real quick, sorry, the 9,000 number was over the 2 days.
Oh,
so it actually was a little bit under, because it was around like 4,800 each day.
Okay.
So they were adding both weekends. So it wasn't basically 9,000 or close to 10 that one each day.
Yeah,
so that's where the confusing part got. I figured it out later on down the way.
As somebody who works closely with promoters, that's something they do.
Yes.
Like, let's go with the big number. Like, even here in Nashville, when we had the draft last week, they were like, and 350,000 people are expected. And you're like, that's over the 3 days. Let's not get carried away.
Yeah. But it definitely felt like, I mean, the place, especially that last game, Houston versus Dallas, it was packed. Every seat was filled, and it felt like an arena full of people. And it was just, the energy was amazing. It was very fun. The very first day, I'm going to backtrack a little bit, they played a map, and they played the first round of the map, and just like like Thanos snapped his fingers, all the power went out.
The power went out of the whole building.
What?
Oh,
wow. It was the first team. First two teams.
And so they were in the middle of, like, they had played one map of a stage.
Yeah.
And it just went out. And we later learned it wasn't just the arena. Like, that whole area of Dallas lost power.
Wow.
Like for like 2 minutes or whatever it was before it kicked back on.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
It was like a weird surge
That
thing.
happened to us in Huntsville.
Is that right?
Yeah, in the middle of the show. It was weird because it ended, the power went out on Jordan Feliz. He was performing, and it went off at the end of his song. And so the crowd goes crazy because all the lights go out, thinking that he was just ending his set. And then when it stayed out, everybody was like, okay. And then the emergency lights came on. We were like, all right. But it stayed off for like 50 minutes for us.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was nuts.
Wow.
Yeah, the power literally came back on super fast, but getting the game back up and the broadcast back up and all that stuff took a little while. Yeah, it took about 40 minutes or so, 30, 40 minutes like that, to get everything back on.
Yowzers.
Yeah. But it was great. The second day, London played horribly. It was the only game that day that wasn't an amazing game. London just got blown out. They didn't show up to play. And but every other game was so close, and so, you know, a couple of them went to 5 maps and tiebreaker maps. Then, of course, the Dallas-Houston game was just electric, and, you know, it was just kind of just a really, really good time. And it was, you know, despite all of that, it was just really cool hanging with Chris and Stacy. You know,
right?
It was just one of those, you know, one of those times when it's, you know, you 2 days out, you start getting a little bummed out because you know that 2 days from now you're going to have to leave. But I couldn't have asked for better hosts. These guys just went above and beyond the Call of Duty. It was really, really cool to just hang out. And, when I look back on it, as much as, the Overwatch League games were excitement and loud and frantic and frenetic and cheering, some of my favorite moments of the week in total were just those times that Chris and Stacy and I were sitting on their back porch just talking, or in the car going somewhere talking, or in a restaurant and just connecting, because, Chris and I could pick up a phone or a hangout chat or something and talk anytime we wanted. But, there's just something about being in the same room with someone.
In person.
Yeah. And it was really, really, really nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. Got back safe and sound, and immediately on Tuesday, I got back on Monday night. Tuesday, jumped into Days Gone, and we talked about this before, where none of us had seen any trailers that really made us excited for the game.
Right.
And, we were all kind of like, eh. And then the last month or so, we started kind of hearing rumblings of, hey, this actually might be pretty good. And, Brett T. Bowden sent us that message that was like, hey, I played this. You guys need to, it's a pre-order for me. And that's what changed my mind. So I pre-ordered it, and I don't read reviews before I play a game. I don't really care about the numbers.
Amen. Yep.
I started hearing people talk, especially in the Discord, about, the numbers were lower than we thought it was going to be, which, again, I mean, nowadays, if something isn't an 11 out of 10, people are like, oh, it's probably going to be horrible, and so I'm not going to play it. So I went in not really expecting much, just kind of like, well, I hope I like it. And I'm having a great time. I got to tell you, it is
great to hear.
A lot of fun. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know really what style it was going to be. I knew there were zombies, but I was surprised at how much stealth and sneaking and almost like Assassin's Creed or Far Cry taking forts or outposts there is. And I am loving that. It's kind of like you can choose how you want to go in. Do you want to go in guns blazing? Do you want to go in sneakily and take your time and stealth kill one at a time? And I was saying on the stream, it's like a combination of The Last of Us with the end times and the sneaking up. How are you going to kill these clickers? And Horizon Zero Dawn almost, just because of the leveling up you can do and the crafting, and even a little bit of Red Dead, because you have a couple of camps that you don't upgrade the camp, but as you do favors and do side missions, your reputation with them goes up, and you can purchase better weapons or skills or what have you. And you're on a motorcycle that runs out of gas and breaks down, so you really have to keep an eye on your gas. I got stranded without gas inside of a tunnel and had to walk it all the way from one end to the other, and it's so tense at times. And Gabe was watching on the stream today, and he caught a little bit of a jump scare that I was not expecting.
Yes.
And I guess that's what makes it a jump scare, because you're not expecting it.
Yeah, instead of like, here it comes.
Right.
Yeah.
Like if you go into a place that there are zombies in the building, you're like, okay, they're in there somewhere. But if you're walking around in the middle of daylight, you definitely don't expect all of a sudden someone to jump on your back and just start gnawing on your neck. So.
One thing that I thought was cool too, Ed, when I was watching because I've jumped in, I think 2 days and seen you and watched you play for a little bit. I'm a little quiet on the chat, but you're my favorite thing to have on while I'm editing voiceover auditions. And so I'll just have it on and, the volume up. And I noticed that you actually had to sleep, which I feel like with Red Dead and stuff like that, there was all these options to sleep, to shower, to shave, but people acted like it wasn't actually that important. So it's interesting to see you be like, I guess I need to sleep for a second.
Yeah, and you don't have to sleep, but there are less zombies in the daytime. And, at one point I knew I was going to try to go in and clear kind of like an outpost. And I was like, it's night. I'm going to go sleep, because when I wake up, it'll be day. And there are a lot fewer zombies walking around.
Gotcha. So it's more to pass the time.
Yes.
it is then necessity.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's
I'm
great,
having a
man.
lot of fun with it. It's a really cool story. Today they hit some really strong story points. It was nice to see. I'm not very far into it, but I am. It's definitely a game that I'm looking forward to getting back into tomorrow. So it's been a nice time playing that. And of course Overwatch. You spend a weekend watching the Overwatch League. You want to play Overwatch when you get home.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely.
And you
So,
feel unstoppable now too, don't you?
No, I know how unstoppable I'm not, actually, in comparison. It's like, I can't do that move. But yeah, it was fun. While I was there at the McCrackens, we played some Overcooked and got a little bit of that. And so it was fun. It was a really, really, really good week. It's just one of those that you're like, oh man, that was a good week.
That's awesome. Hey,
That's
Ed,
awesome.
will
Yes.
you shout out Stack Up quick?
Oh yeah, yeah. Stack Up is an organization that I was looking to kind of join up with a foundation that helps veterans. And I had asked around a few people, and all of them mentioned Stack Up. And it's an organization that helps not only guys who are enlisted in the military, they send them video game packages. It might have an Xbox in there or a PlayStation and a bunch of games. And then they also help connect people who are suffering from PTSD or suicide prevention among vets. So it's an organization that is basically reaching out to veterans, both currently enlisted and who are no longer serving actively. And so I was able to partner up with them, and similar to other organizations where you can do like a stream, or whether it's a 24-hour stream, or hey, all this month I'm raising money for partnering up with them to help raise money for Stack Up. It's a really, really cool organization.
Nice.
Cool, man.
That's really great, man.
And that's going to be all this. You're doing it all this month, you said?
The information is on my Twitch page, but I'm going to do a stream, a big stream on Veterans Day.
Nice.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
That's great,
Nice.
man.
yeah, I'm really excited about it.
I feel like that was worth shouting out for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Thank
man.
you.
Yeah, as someone who doesn't get to pop in and check out the streams, I had no idea. I just learned about it. So that's a great thing that you
So you can check them out at Stack. Is it stack-up.org?
I'm actually looking at that right now because I feel like it. See here. No, you can just do stackup.org.
Stackup.org.
Yeah.
Sick. There you go.
Yeah.
I like it. Good job, Eduardo.
That's awesome,
Thank
man.
you. Good job, you guys.
Chris, why don't you go next? You can give us the other side of this thing and talk about how awesome Ed is.
Yeah, so
There you
honestly, I mean, I know it seemed like it was just going to be like a tit for tat kind of thing, but seriously, so Ed mentioned, he's very nice about saying that we were really good hosts and keeping everything low key and not having like an agenda necessarily for him to go through. But at the same time, he's an absolutely great guest because not only was he easy going the whole time, but some people, when they come, they expect an agenda. They expect to have things like, what, you don't have 12 things planned? So I purposefully didn't plan a ton of things. I had a few things in my back pocket I could pull out depending on if he was really itching to go do a bunch of things. But it was awesome to see that he was just cool with just hanging out.
Yeah.
And we could definitely go and explore and we could check out some things and whatnot. But he was down for that, but he wasn't like, it wasn't a requirement for him outside of, the Overwatch weekend, which clearly that was all planned and we had it scheduled and everything because it was based on when the games are being played and everything like that. One other thing that Ed didn't mention, because I'm sure it just slipped his mind, but we also got to see Endgame.
That's right, we did.
That's right.
Yeah, so we got to see the Avengers Endgame, so that was amazing.
Nice.
Yep.
I'd never seen a movie at a movie theater with Mr. Eduardo, so that was cool.
That was a good time.
Rare sighting.
Yeah, well, especially for me because I'm not in the movie theater.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So that was really cool. There was a guy outside of the movie theater dressed up as Captain America, and we thought like, oh, maybe the theater like is paid somebody to come out here. And he's like, no, he's just some dude. And he's just like, yeah, it's just
Nice.
me. You want to take a picture? Yeah, sure, no big deal. And we're walking around with our Captain America shirts on and our Overwatch hoodies, our matching Roadhog and Junkrat Overwatch hoodies, and just all kinds of just getting into all kind of shenanigans. And I was really, really glad that we got to work out the opportunity for him to go and meet my mom, or really more my mom to get to meet him because she's she's one of the ones that she really wanted to go to 300 and she didn't get a chance. And obviously she's met Gabe a couple of times now, but she hadn't met Ed and still hasn't met Tim. So I knew she was like, I want to be able to say I've met them all at some point. So it was nice to be able to work that out, because it was it wasn't for sure that it was going to, the timelines and everything were going to meet up for everybody. So that was a lot of fun. Like you said, I just have to reiterate, everything that he said about Overwatch weekend was exactly the case. I mean, it was an absolutely amazing event. I went into it, I mean, I expected to have a good time, because I'm going there not only to see my own team, but to see Overwatch League. It was awesome getting to see and take pictures with the casters and the people on the desk that do Watch Point. That was a lot of fun. And then to be able to see the players like walk around. At one point, I went to go wash my hands, and I was in the restroom, and then I'm going to wash my hands, and I see this person. You see people in jerseys and stuff all over the place. And then I see this person with London had just got finished playing. And there's this guy with a London jersey and it says gesture on the back. I was like, oh, hey, that's cool. A guy with a gesture. And turns around, it was the actual player. Like he was just there. Awesome. And he's just like watching. Yeah. And I almost grabbed him and was like, oh, can I get a picture? But at the same time, I was like, well, but I'm in the restroom.
That's right.
So I decided against that. But
it's a sacred place, man.
Exactly. Yeah. But then I'm trying to rush outside because I knew Ed would be close and I wanted to be like, hey, Jester's right over here. And then I go out there because Jester beat me out. And Ed's just like, oh, hey, man. And he's like saying a few words right there to Jester. And I was like, oh, that's just so cool. And that was able to happen. And then just the weekend was just amazing. And it was so much fun. But at the same time, when we would get home each day, man, I was beat. I was like exhausted. I know, huh? And it was like, it couldn't wait to go to bed, go to sleep, wake up, and then go back to it and do it all again the next day on Sunday.
Yeah.
So. And then, of course, being that it was the home crowd for Dallas, when Dallas played, it was amazing. But absolutely, man, that Sunday night game with Houston and Dallas was just insane. We got a lot of little videos, and there's a lot of videos online. Like you can look through Overwatch League and Dallas Fuel and even Houston and a bunch of other things. There's tons of stuff, man. It's going to be really hard for Overwatch League next year because they've got big plans. Their plans is to have like home games in every city every weekend starting next season. And how it's exactly going to work, I don't know. And I think it's going to be more challenging than even they anticipate. But if nothing else, this weekend proved that to some extent, this can definitely work. There's market for this kind of thing. And there's people that are willing to pay to go and see this kinds of stuff. Because was just a ton of people there. And it was just a ton of fun.
And I think we see them knowing that a little bit, which is nice. And I feel like they're not trying to flood the market quite yet. But, for ABC to even give up time to it, it's like, you can see that was them sticking the toe in the water a couple times. It's been on, regular cable. And so I think that I hope that they grow slowly and they grow well and they form a really strong foundation, build their house upon the rock, and then really be able to, come out swinging and bring in ratings. Because the game is so good. It's one of those games similar to Fortnite, really, when you think of like how, yes, you're shooting each other, but it doesn't feel violent for some reason. Yeah. And so when parents have, pulled me aside, especially on tour, that know I have a podcast and that we, talk from the stance of like married men and, two of us being dads, they've been like, okay, so my kids want to play Overwatch. What do you think? And I'm like, hey, that one's safe. Not a lot of cussing. Like, there's little things here and there you might not want to hear your kids say, but it's not like, it's not crazy, especially compared to other things. And I really say the same thing about Fortnite. You kind of like knock someone down and like a little UFO looks like comes and picks their body up. It doesn't feel like,
it doesn't feel violent.
Yeah, it doesn't feel violent. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's cartoony. Yeah. So I hope that it feels like the perfect game to have the masses pay attention to it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I totally agree. And so just to kind of wrap a nice little bow on it, I just want to say it was amazing having Ed there. It was a lot of fun. Really glad that we were able to work it all out and make it happen. And thanks to Overwatch and everybody for having games here so we could center it around that too as well, because that really worked out great.
Awesome.
With Ed being here, I didn't really play a ton of games since the last time that we chatted. A little bit of Apex, and then this evening before we jumped on the cast, got to play a little bit of Overwatch. It was the same kind of thing that Ed was saying earlier, where when we're watching the teams, we're watching them play, and then when two teams that maybe we don't have a particular invested interest in who wins, and we're just watching for the enjoyment of the game, it was really, you start getting that itch like, man, I kind of want to go play some Overwatch.
Yeah.
So it was really good to jump back in tonight. And then I know that the anniversary event's got to be just around the corner. So I'm super excited about that because that's when all the really big stuff tends to drop and all the really cool things. So looking forward to that for sure. But yeah, just an absolutely great week. Couldn't have asked for it to be better. And just now I'm kind of bummed because I got to go back to work. And
Back to life.
That's
exactly
right.
Back to reality.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. That's the way it is.
That's so great.
Tim Router,
Yes, sir.
you were at a charity event tonight. Speaking
I
of
was.
charity.
Thank you, guys. Sorry, I was hauling butt to try and get back. It was not on my radar this morning until my wife informed me that, oh, hey, we're going out with our friends, the Muldownies. We had dinner. And then from there, they are part of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation because their 16-year-old daughter has Crohn's disease.
Oh, wow.
And
My brother has Crohn's.
Yeah, they're just big advocates of it, and it helps that they're in the medical industry anyway. He's a cardiologist at Vanderbilt, and we got together with them for dinner before the event, and then it was just kind of like a round robin singer songwriter night over at the Listening Cafe in downtown Nashville. And so we were there for a little bit, and so we bounced at like 10 of 10. I'm like, guys, I'm on my way. I'm so sorry. And so I hauled butt back here, and so we were able to get in so I could record as quickly as possible. So thank you guys for your patience. I appreciate it.
Hey,
It was a good night, good cause as always. And we've done a few other benefits with the Muldownies before, and it's just a lot of fun. Man, this past weekend just didn't really feel like a weekend. This past weekend here was Main Street Festival.
Yeah, it was.
That's an all-day Saturday and Sunday thing. And so even Friday morning, Lauren woke up and she's like, oh, I can't wait for Sunday evening already. So that's going to be a good weekend when you're starting the weekend with that kind of mindset. And it was just crazy for her. She was up till 2 a.m. on Friday morning and then got back into the store at like 8 o'clock in the morning to help set up. Friday night, I set up the tent because they closed the street at like 9. And so you put a tent right outside our store. And then she came in the next morning and decorated it all. We had a little photo booth there. And,
nice.
And so, of course, I had to help kind of man the tent for a lot of the weekend. I mean, Piper had a 9 a.m. soccer game on Saturday. Then the puppy had to go get her final round of shots. And so it's just a lot of running around and craziness, but it was a lot of fun. And we had amazing weather this past weekend.
Yeah,
and,
we did.
And thank God too. And I was really happy for Nashville for the draft. I wanted to avoid that area like the plague, and I did, which is great, just because of how many people and logistically how just crazy it would be down there. But
Router, you know what I was thinking?
What?
How lucky are we that the Predators lost in the playoffs?
I thought of that multiple times. I'm like, oh, here we go. It's Stanley Cup Finals 2017 again.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, if we had the draft and the marathon and
because they had the draft going on Saturday, the marathon on Saturday. There was a Jimmy Buffett concert that night. There was all kinds of stuff, and I think Nashville played it out beautifully, and everybody's just been raving about it. Gabe TJ, the UPS driver, said he was going down on Saturday. Yeah, and I haven't gotten a chance to see him yet. I wanted to get his thoughts on how everything went. But it just seemed like Nashville was the party spot for the draft. So I was really proud. I'm like, man, that's awesome.
I was just glad to see something besides bachelorette parties downtown Nashville.
Oh yeah, it's classic. And in fact, a lot of bachelorette parties were very disappointed, like because the girls like booked it and didn't realize that the draft was going to be there.
Yeah,
there was an article in the paper about it, and they interviewed these two girls, and it was hysterical. I'm like, it was really funny. It's like you probably should have thought of it, like at least look at something and see what's going on, because I mean, there's been billboards and everything for the draft around here, so it's like, yeah, that's on you. You know what? We'll blame you on that one. But it's funny. Yeah, so we were at Main Street Festival. We had soccer games, puppy shots, all kinds of fun stuff. This weekend will be our last soccer game of the spring season for Piper's team.
Oh,
wow.
I know. It's crazy. Guys, we're still getting better. Like, we had our practice on Tuesday, and this past weekend was really great game. Like, I think they're getting the hang of it.
Really?
Just in time
Nice.
to forget about it all through the summer and then start all over again in the fall.
That's right. That's right.
So that's exactly how it goes. But like I think most of our team is registered again for the fall. So it's same kids, which is great, which means same parents, which is great. And we have like a really tight knit group of people. And the great thing about it is that it's not a competitive group of people. It's more like, well, who's bringing mimosas at 9 a.m. because it's going to be an early morning for all of us. And like they're all so cool and so laid back, and it's just a good time. And those girls are a lot of fun, and Coach Dave and I have a great time coaching them. So it's good. But we'll have our last one this weekend.
Nice.
And then we go right into cheer for Piper because we are now that family.
Oh, wow.
That yes, we have entered the realm of competitive cheer, and I immediately want to get out.
I know that's right.
Oh man, what does that mean?
Well, no, it's because
Use your imagination is what that means.
It's pretty intense. It's pretty intensive.
Stage moms.
It's expensive.
Oh, really?
It's intensive and expensive. But Piper did a tryout. She made the cheer team, and every practice that they've had, she comes back and she's just got this smile on her face, and she's like redoing all the moves in the living room. And you know what? We're like, you know what? This is great. She can do this. And like I said last week, I think we pulled away some other things. That way she's not doing something every day of the school week, which is what we've been doing this past week. This past week there's something for her every day after school. And like, she's going to burn out from that if that keeps going. So fortunately, now that soccer's going to end, that gets pulled back. And then after the summer, we're going to kind of trim the fat a little bit and make sure that we don't overextend for her. Cause second grade, here we go. We're going to, in the fall, it's there. So it's going to be crazy.
Who is she cheering for?
It's just, they just do these like competitive cheers. Like, and it's,
oh, okay. Gotcha. Like a set it off type of thing.
It's the big, yeah, well, yeah, sort of. It's the big bows and all that stuff.
Well, I mean, I knew that there wasn't like the kickball team that she was cheering for.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a bring it on kind of situation.
It's exactly.
Yes. Bring it on.
It's been brought in. Yeah. Oh, it's been brought in. But yeah, for her age and for her age group, it's pretty tame and it's not terrible. But she's really excited about it, and you know what? I'm fine with that. That's awesome. Let's go. Let's see how this goes.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen Avengers yet. Haven't been able to get on that at all. I've kind of not been looking at anything on Twitter or Facebook or anything. And everybody's been really good about no spoilers. I'm really impressed here.
Yeah. As long as you're not a football player.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Right. Looking at you, LaShawn McCoy.
Seriously. But and the same with, I did get to watch Game of Thrones, and that's been fantastic. That was really intense. And and again, I think people are catching on and like, hey, I'm not going to go ahead and broadcast what I feel about everything and just let people, go and enjoy it and not have any spoilers. And it's kind of refreshing. So
looking at you, various voiceover actors that I had to unfollow this weekend.
Oh no,
seriously.
I don't feel like I
Jeez.
feel like which I don't watch Game of Thrones, but I do read spoiler stuff.
You need to.
But I feel like after Game of Thrones hits, even the night it airs, I see spoilers.
It's
normally
trending
I see
on
a few
Twitter.
Spoilers, but especially this week, I saw stuff right away, like gifs of stuff that happened that was important. I'm like, man, people just, because I'm the same way with Endgame. Like, I feel like I haven't really seen hardly anything except stuff that other people show me, which I had already seen it. But my timeline was pretty empty. But Game of Thrones, it's like nobody cares. They're just gonna say what they want.
They just threw it out there. Yeah,
I guess
because I think the diehards, they're gonna watch it Sunday night. I can't really watch it on Sunday night just because we've got family time and all kinds of stuff. So I get up early and watch it on my computer because I have HBO Go, and I watch it on my computer at like 5 a.m. in the morning, Monday morning. So again, I don't look on Twitter. I don't look at anything. I just basically pull up the computer, pull up HBO Go, and that's how I start my Monday morning. But I guess I think it's a little different because this is a series. People follow it, like they look forward to Sundays, and then they all quarterback, Monday morning quarterback it on Monday because they pretty much assume everybody's seen it. So, and then they'll all talk about it and do their thing. So
and the ratings show that a lot of people are seeing it that first, those nights. You know what I'm saying? The ratings have been nuts.
This is a huge series, and it will probably break all kinds of Nielsen ratings. Who knows? We'll see.
I will say also, just piggybacking off of how I said, like, it seems like people don't care. They'll just throw out spoilers. One thing that I feel like I noticed more on this episode than I remember seeing in, the past, I feel like I saw more divisiveness on this one versus people who loved it and people that really took issue with various aspects of the show, not just one thing in particular.
Well, I think this season's easier to do because there's no book to follow anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
So now things are going in directions that...
And everybody knows it's the final season. So like all the Star Wars and fans out there, everybody has fan theories. So when their fan theories don't come true, then everybody gets, testy, and then people start conversating, and then people start going back and forth. Like I go in with zero, like I basically went in going, all right, everybody and everything that I know is probably everything's going to get twisted right now. And I was pleasantly surprised that there were a lot of things that, I just went in with, all right, let's just watch this and see what happens. And it was a great episode. And so now everything's going to start going down in these next 3. And so
are these the last 3 then? Is it only a 6 episode series?
It's either 6 or 8. I can't remember. But it's definitely a quicker one, but the episodes are longer. Like this one was 90 minutes. This past one was 90 minutes and they're normally 60. So
I got you.
But man, it's quality stuff. On the gaming front, I put Spider-Man in this morning, 59 minutes to install an update. So I went right back downstairs and went back to work.
Dude.
So by tomorrow, I should be able to start Spider-Man, which I'm very excited for, and then go from there. And Clash Royale, and I am good to go. That's been my
and Clash Royale.
Yep.
That's funny.
So, Mr. Patillo, what's going on? You're home, right? Like you've been home
baby.
all week?
Yeah, but I had a similar weekend as you. It was just super, super busy.
Right.
So Toby does a thing called the Run for Hope, where it's during the Nashville Marathon, and fans come in of his and they raise money and they all run, either the 5K, the half, or the full marathon, and raise money for New Hope Academy, a school here in Franklin. And so leading up to that, Thursday night, end game, because I had to.
Yeah.
With your boy Brad.
With my boy Brad and my wifey. And then Friday morning is kind of when we greet some of the higher earners that have raised the most money. And so we had like a breakfast for them. It was like 100 of them or something like that. And then Friday night, we do a show for everyone that came to town. And then early Saturday morning, I think I wake up at 4 and had to be down there at the stadium, at Nissan Stadium at 5 in the morning to set up for the music. Exactly. We do like a whole team picture at 6:30, and then the runners go out and I play music and control the microphones and all that as we do some announcements as people are making their way back. And so same thing, me and Jenny were just like, okay, Saturday night, just keep your eye on Saturday night. And it was crazy. And it was so cool because Nissan Stadium is right across the river from Broadway, where they had the draft. And so at Nissan Stadium as well, they had all the draft stuff set up. So the room we were actually in is where they did like First Take and some of the other ESPN shows. And so they had just transformed it back for us to use it on Saturday morning. And so it was still just crazy. The NFL's got so much doggone money. It's just crazy to see all the stuff that they set up. So I was glad that I got to go be a part of the madness a little bit, but not have to be there too bad. And so I'm glad I didn't have to go there on Thursday, the first day, because that would have been. And
I loved how you said last week, like with the NFL draft, that like these kids, a lot of these kids' lives just got changed this past week.
Yeah,
which I think is so cool. All their hard work, everything that they've,
and for the parents, all the sacrifices that the parents have made.
It's great to see those. Like I saw some of those behind the scenes phone conversations right before the pick was in.
Yes.
And like they get this call and then everybody just comes around, rallies around them. Everyone's crying. It's really cool, man. It's like, dang, this is it. This is big time.
It's life-changing stuff, man. So
I love it. I love it.
It's really cool. So that was just kind of life over the weekend. And then finally beat that old Kingdom Hearts.
Oh,
there you
well
go.
done. And you loved every bit of it.
And he sold it the next day.
Best thing ever.
Oh, man.
It made up for itself, and you ended up loving the game.
That is what happened with Zelda.
Hey.
Yeah. Not this game.
Wow.
Oh, no.
I mean, listen. I get it, y'all. I get it. We've waited 13 years. There have been all kind of games that have come out between then and now with Dream Drop Distance and 2-point this, that, and the other, and remixing and all the little things in between. And listen, I get it. I get it. We've waited for so long, and we finally got it, and it's here, and you could play it, and it's, you know, there's a sense of quality to it. It looks good. For me, man, that's where it stops, honestly.
Wow.
Now, last week, Gabe, I was thinking after we recorded, and you were talking about how there's so much talking in the game.
Oh, my gosh.
And I remembered, well, you're a story guy. You love cutscenes. Do you think it just felt long because your kids were there?
I don't think it's that, because that's what they actually want to see. They want to see Mickey, and they want to hear Donald and Goofy talking and stuff like that. So it wasn't that made it feel long. It's that it's long is what made it feel long.
Oh, no.
I mean, it's in. Listen, I get it, y'all. I get it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to poo-poo on this game. Listen, I bought it at retail prices.
And you wanted to like it. You were going in.
Yes, I've played dozens of hours in this game. Played it, slow rolled it with my kids. And it was one of those things like so the boys liked watching it, Remy and Milo. And so when Amara would be at school, they'd ask, like, can we play the Mickey game? Can we play? So I'd play it. And then if something of note happened, I would record it on the PlayStation, and then I would play that for Amara later, instead of like playing the game some more and moving the needle forward, just so she could like keep up with the story and stuff like that. And then the end came, and you know, I was feeling the ramp of the end, and I was like, okay, this is definitely the end. Can I just say, at what I thought was the end to what was actually the end was 7 or 8 hours.
No,
just to let you know how much talking and things are going on towards the end.
Wow.
And it gets difficult, you know, of course, so you're dying and retrying things.
Yeah.
And so I got to the final boss, and it was just like impossible to play with the kids. Like, they're climbing on me, and you're not just not being able to react the way. So I did it when everybody was sleeping. I was like, okay, this is the final boss. I'm going to beat him. I'll record all the things, and I'll show them tomorrow, because I just can't play with them in the room. Turns out Kingdom Hearts turns on a you cannot record this part of the game.
Oh, yeah.
At the end.
That's I was watching someone stream it, and the screen went blank, and they were like, okay, and so this person is saying this, and
yeah, I mean, I was like, oh, you got to be kidding me. And so what I ended up doing was going ahead and beating it, and then I found it on YouTube, so I could just play it for Amara, like, hey, this is what you missed, check this out.
Yeah.
And so just to give you a hint of how long they talk, from the very final boss, not like his iterations, like once you get to the final guy and you're gonna beat him and send it on into the credits, is 1 hour and 20 minutes.
What?
Boss and cutscenes. It is so long. It's crazy. It's crazy how much they talk in this game. And so, and yes, I'm a story guy. This story is so convoluted.
Wow.
You've got to really love the thing to be like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, they didn't just bend that to their will. Like, I mean, it's just like, and I know, listen, at me all you want. I'm not going to say don't at me, because I get it.
At least you're open to that.
Yeah, come at me. Come at me. Yeah, that's right. It's just, if it's not Kingdom Hearts, put any other skin on this game and say you had never heard of it before. Nobody would like it. They just wouldn't. What makes it sweet is that you've lived with these characters for so long, and that's what makes it great.
So this is straight up nostalgia game.
I think it's a lot of nostalgia. I don't want to get into any spoilers, because I do have a way of explaining it that I think would make sense, but I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But like, the nostalgia and the fan service is there.
Yeah.
If you're not into that much, and you're just like playing it because like you pseudo like the thing, man, I don't know, man. And it's funny because we saw some people on our Discord and some people on Twitter, I forget who exactly, was like, I'm playing this, it's not making any sense, I'm not playing it anymore. Right. And I was like, I totally get that. I totally get that, because there's some things about the game that are broken as a video game. Like, take away the story and the bad editing and how they had to like shoehorn in. What it feels like is that I don't know if this is true, but it feels like they shoehorned in the American or the English translation into what they already made for the Japanese, like timing of things. And so people would have to stretch out a line in a way that didn't feel natural a lot of times.
Oh, right.
And so somebody would be like, good luck, Sora. And you're like, why wouldn't you say good luck, Sora? But like, because of, I think the timing of the camera, edit or however it works, felt like they had to drag a lot of that stuff out, which made it feel extremely discombobulated as just like how a script would read.
Right.
And then, on top of that, it's a Japanese thing. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of like, And but even for Amara to say, for Amara to say, man, there sure is a lot of talking. Like, you're like, okay, I'm not crazy. There's a lot of talking in this game.
And that girl can talk.
And Amara can talk. That's the pot calling the kettle like pitch black.
Right.
And so made it through that. That is over.
Oh,
and
man.
I'm glad it's over. I'm glad I played it. I'm glad I can sell it on eBay. I don't have to worry about any DLC. I know it's coming. Y'all got it. Y'all enjoy yourselves.
That is funny.
It's fine. Glad I did it. It's over.
Yeah.
Also picked up Danger Zone 2, which
really?
Which was the sequel to Danger Zone, which was supposed to be the spiritual successor to the Crash section of Burnout from a couple Burnouts ago, when you could crash into intersections and then blow your car up and move around and then blow your car up again. And Ed put the first one on our YouTube channel. Your grade for that one?
I don't know.
Bad.
D.
He ain't like it. You can go watch the video and see he ain't like it. He thought he was in the tutorial the whole time until the freaking credits rolled. And he was like, wait a second, why am I still in this parking garage? So Danger Zone 2, I didn't even, for some reason it slipped my mind that it was even out. I don't even know what I was watching that I saw that it was out. And so I look it up, and in my cheap way, I'm looking for like, a deal on it. I think it came out this year. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I need to check that, but
did it? Oh, so. You know what? No, it came out because I played that as well.
You played 2 as well?
Yeah, it came out. I posted it in July of 2018.
Oh, I thought you didn't do Danger Zone 2 yet.
No, there's a new one by the same people that just came out
called Dangerous Driving.
Yes, that's what I thought you meant when you said that you just came out.
I was playing Danger Zone 2.
Okay.
I like that one a lot better.
Yeah,
Did you like it?
I remember liking it better, but I don't remember. That's why I didn't really get the new Dangerous Driving, because I think I'm kind of burned on this. I don't know. They haven't made one that I loved as much as the classic ones yet.
That's right. This is definitely not the classic ones.
Right.
But it's definitely better than being in a parking garage.
Exactly.
But there's no for what I've done, there's no like airport where you get to blow up some planes and like all these different things. There's the jumping and then there's the boost and all that. The driving feels really good. I'm really enjoying it. I like it. It's definitely nostalgic, but not quite there. But they got the new graphics, so it feels like they feel like they got to do that. But I don't like the camera angle in the other crashes from Burnout. I feel like the camera was a lot further away, so you can see a lot more of what's going on. This one feels very narrow, and so you're like, oh, which way am I supposed to be going? And the other critique I have for it is it feels like once you get to the intersection, the cars aren't there yet. And so you got to kind of like brake before you get there. And you're like, well, what am I supposed to crash into?
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm playing that. I'm liking it. Nice. And I got it for like $3. So
there you go.
I feel like I'm definitely getting my $3 worth.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think that's it. It was so fun playing Overwatch with Chris and Ed tonight.
It was
I hadn't played it in so long.
Oh my gosh.
I played as Baptiste the whole time, and I actually really enjoyed him. I know I probably wasn't helping the team, but
you seem to pick him up pretty quickly. I mean, he's not the most, he's definitely, for me at least, not as complex as some of the newer characters they've come out with.
It's not riding a unicycle.
Right. But still, I mean, for the first time playing it, you were kind of kicking
you
butt.
held yourself down.
Well, I enjoyed it, so I was glad to do that, and glad to be watching Ed play Days Gone, because I don't know if I'll get it. I want to
I don't
get
know
it
either.
But I'm liking watching Ed play it.
I know,
There
and
you
I watched a little bit of it when I could. I think on Friday or something like that, and I was like, and you had me at Assassin's Creed and Far Cry just now when you were. So I'm like, oh dang it!
It
Why
does
did you say
feel
that?
very
Now I gotta go.
stealthy, which I think there's
I love.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's a lot of aspects of it that I think Tim, you would enjoy.
Yeah, I think so too.
So anyway,
We'll see.
Yes. Do you feel like you don't feel like you were sold a bill of goods when you compare it to like what we saw at E3, right? Like it still feels like hordes of zombies and like, oh wow, look how many zombies they put on screen, or not quite?
No, I've never gotten to like a massive horde. Today, toward the end of my stream, I was looking around with my binoculars, and off in the distance, I saw a maybe 45 member horde walking around.
Okay, but not like that
have,
massive 1,000 hordes.
That
coming
has
at you
not happened yet. No.
Oh, okay, gotcha. So yeah, I think that's all.
Nice.
There you go.
Router,
Yes.
you got it?
Yes.
Well, let's do it!
This is going to be nice and short and sweet. New releases: Fade to Silence, PC, PS4, Xbox One. Final Fantasy XII: The Zodiac Age for the Xbox One and Switch. Just Cause 4, Daredevils of Destruction DLC for the PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
Oh, nice.
Just cause.
Starlink Battle for Atlas Crimson Moon update for the PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Tabletop Racing World Tour Nitro Edition for the Switch. The Swords of Ditto, Mormo's Curse for the Switch. Back to you.
All right.
That's a wrap.
Chris McCracken.
Yes. So I'm going to start with a story that's kind of hot off the presses. I think it just came down today, but it looks like Epic Games is acquiring Psyonix,
Yeah.
the developer of
Really?
Rocket League. Yeah. So Rocket League is going to be moving over to the Epic Game Store. Sorry, it's not plural. The Epic Game Store sometime in late 2019. The game will remain for sale on all the platforms that it is currently on, including Steam in the meantime, that is, according to the press release. Now, Epic and Psyonix Games will say that they'll continue to support the game on Steam for all people who have purchased it. But when you read the breakdown, the language kind of makes it seem as though, okay, well, but once this hits Epic Game Store, it's probably only going to be sold there going forward.
Yes.
And they'll just, like I mentioned earlier, they'll make sure that they're still supporting those who had already purchased it. But it's only going to be purchasable on at least the PC side through the Epic Game Store, or Epic Game Store. So that, I mean, I guess this isn't super surprising because Rocket League is still very popular. A lot of people really like it. Obviously, Psyonix is a very good developer.
Very good.
And we know that Epic is doing all they can to make as big a push they can to become as big a player as they can as soon as they can. So I feel like this is a perfectly good get for them. Now, whether it's a bunch of people are going to get all up in arms about it, especially when it finally does move over to the Epic Game Store and it's not available on Steam anymore at all, we'll just have to see. The good thing about it is that Psyonix has been one at the forefront of knocking down all these walls of the whole like cross play and yada yada yada.
Right.
So hopefully it won't be a big deal. I still, as an outsider, someone who's not a PC gamer really, it still is kind of crazy to me that people are still so kerfluffled about what launcher you launch to just play your game. I mean,
I know, it's interesting, huh?
Again, I understand having favoritism to one versus another.
Sure.
I could get that, but it's just like, you launch the button and then you play your game. It's like, why does it matter? You're on PC. Right. Like, you have control over everything. I mean, I don't understand why this is such a big deal, but PC people seem to get way up in arms about it and have their allegiances and their loyalties, and I'm sure that they have very good reasons for that. It hasn't gotten quite to the point where it feels like hysteria, but it almost feels like it could get there.
Really?
To me.
do you think Sonic might be working on a new IP, and maybe that's why Epic is coming in?
Oh, I'm sure that they are always got something in the. Most developers, I'm sure, are always kind of bouncing around some type of idea or IP idea in the back of their brains, and maybe even prototyping different things. So I'm sure there's going to be something that comes out from them at some point. But I would assume that their main focus still is Rocket League, which is still a really good catch for them. And, and it's a great piece of IP that they've already created and shown that's really good. And they still have been supporting it a lot.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm sure, I would think that Epic is buying them because of their potential and their future, not just because they have this one game that's done well for itself.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be my thought.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Well,
uh-oh.
It seems like Slightly Mad Studios is having some problems.
Slightly.
And they're probably slightly mad about it. First, they did withdraw its filing for the trademark Madbox. And that came on the heels of a couple things, I think. One was an opposition from a French casual game firm called the Madbox.
Le Madbox?
Yeah, exactly. The firm argued that there exists a likelihood of confusion on the part of the public, which I think the public was going to be confused anyway.
Yeah, there already was one.
Exactly. Yep. And as you remember, Ian Bell, back in January when we talked about the story the first time, had, put out this tweet that said, "What is the Madbox? It's the most powerful console ever built. It's literally mad. You want 4K? You want VR at 60 frames a second? You want a full engine for free to develop your games on? You have it." We said at the time,
settle down, marketing team.
We said at the time, like, okay, let's set a little down.
Yep.
So they've withdrawn the trademark for that. That's their first sign of trouble. Then their online marketing director, Nathan Bell, who I don't know if maybe he's related to Ian Bell. It would seem like he would be. Came out and said that Google's announcement of Stadia hasn't helped the project with their investors. He said, "We had some solid investment lined up, but Google saying, quote, the future of gaming isn't in a box," when box is part of your name, hasn't done us any favors. 2 investors pulled out after the announcement of Stadia. All I can say at this stage is the future of the project is questionable. So now, not only have they pulled the name Madbox, but they also might be pulling the box all together.
Wow.
I don't know what it's like to get something going and up the hill at this magnitude when you're talking about investors and things like that. But this can't be good. And so I'm saying that this is probably the last we'll hear of Slightly Mad Studios having a console come out.
They might go on Shark Tank.
Yeah,
I doubt they'll go on Shark Tank.
Okay, maybe not.
I mean, but maybe they will go on Shark Tank, and it will be to the enjoyment of all of us as Mr. Wonderful tells them that they're dead to him.
That's right.
Jeez.
Slightly mad. Sorry, you guys. That sucks. But
wow.
What are you gonna do?
Does.
Yeah, a bad idea is a bad idea, and Twitter doesn't let you forget anything, as we've seen with multiple people in multiple different ways. And so, when you come out with that big a statement without having your ducks in a row, I think that's a little rough, starting with the name.
I mean, some people, they just get excited and they can't.
And Twitter's the place for that.
Yeah, they just can't keep from going out there and, oh, guess what?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yep. Can't do that no more.
Nope.
Those days are over. What else you got, Christopher?
All right, so this is some Apex Legends information.
Let's go.
That has come out. Developer Respawn Entertainment. By the way, this story's from Polygon. My last one was as well. Developer Respawn Entertainment says that it wants to reset our commitment to the fans of the free-to-play shooter Apex Legends in the wake of criticism that the game has been literally lacking in the update cadence. And they've been, a lot of people have been coming out and saying, hey, where's all the content? You're not constantly updating this game and constantly changing content and bringing new stuff. Since it released, there has been, they introduced the Battle Pass, which is, I think, a 3-month stint for that Battle Pass. But a lot of people weren't super excited about most of the stuff that you could earn out of that Battle Pass. And they've only introduced one new legend, kind of in a way, 3 if you think about it, because when the game launched, 2 of them were locked behind. You had to earn the tokens to unlock them. They weren't right off the bat unlockable, or you could have bought them with real money and unlocked them right away if you wanted to. So it's kind of a little bit not fair to say that there's only been one new legend. But at the same time, like, the game's been out for 2 months, y'all.
That's what I was about to ask you. It came out in February. Like, what are we wanting already?
I mean, I think
February.
It seems like the issue is that it hit the ground running so hard, and for the most part was really good in most aspects of the game. Like, it wasn't super glitchy. There weren't. Right. It was pretty dang solid. So I think people just, when it hit the ground running really hard, and not just because of all the paid promotion stuff, that definitely played into it as well, but the actual gameplay, when you played it, it wasn't like, oh, this game just has hype and it's not any good. It had hype and it actually played really well. Yeah. I think people were just expecting that, it's going to just hit the ground running and be going, because they're used to the Fortnites and everything that gets updates constantly all the time.
But they're used to Fortnite now. Did Fortnite update extremely fast when it came out?
Look, you're not telling me something that I don't agree with. But people are like, they play this other game that they really like and think's really good, and it's constantly getting some kind of new skins or new little updates and whatnot. Because as I understand it, I don't play a ton of Fortnite. I've only dabbled a little bit, and I just never grabbed me. And even though I know that they do things that change not only game types and game modes and new skins and stuff, and they do some things that kind of change the map of that game.
Yeah.
But a big to-do is people are like, oh, we don't have any new map for Apex Legends. Fortnite only has one map too.
Yeah, exactly. Well, all these games do. Like, isn't that how most of these games work? Like, most have one map.
H1Z1 has one map. I'm just kind of hitting the big hitters in a way, if you even want to call H1Z1 a big hitter. They also have Fortnite only has the one map, but the map will change throughout the different battle passes and seasons and whatnot. So that's kind of a little bit different.
Blackout has one map, right?
No, Blackout has 2 or maybe 3, because they released the Alcatraz map.
Oh, that's right.
And I think they either have another one in development, or they may have actually released 2. I'm not sure, like a smaller one. I don't play Blackout, so I don't know, but I do know that they at least have 2 maps going. And then PUBG has 3, but it took PUBG forever to release an extra map. Exactly. And as far as I'm aware, at least on the console side, and I think the PC as well, H1Z1 still only has the exact same map they've always had. It's not been any different. So I don't really understand the problems that people are having with the game. I mean, I do understand streamers who play games 10, 12 hours a day getting burnt out on, Apex or any game, really. I mean, when you play games for a living that much in a row and you're always on, like, I understand burning out way quicker than, the average person who can only play maybe a couple hours a night or whatever. But
or a week even.
I don't, to me, yes, I'm biased in the sense that I really enjoy the game, but I have no allegiance to Respawn. Like, I bought the first Titanfall, didn't really care for it. Because I didn't care for it, I didn't buy the second Titanfall. I mean, it's not like I'm some Respawn fanboy. I just feel like this is a good game. And while, yes, I will agree that the Battle Pass was a bit disappointing because there wasn't a ton of stuff in it that was really, I mean, I bought the Battle Pass, but I was like, well, I'm not really super excited about most of this stuff. It's like the last thing at the very end, this skin that evolves and changes as you play. That's the only one that's kind of thing out of the whole Battle Pass that kind of interests me. But I've played so many hours of this game, it didn't bother me to throw them, $10.
Well, too, Chris, don't you think they couldn't have known either? You know what I'm saying? Yes. I think with when you're releasing a free game like this in the Battle Royale space, where, Battle Royale's kind of been big since what? Want to say 2016?
Yeah. Somewhere around there's when it kind of got started with the King of the Kill or whatever it was called.
Yeah. And so it seems like, okay, here we're 3 years in, you're kind of coming in late. Nobody knew about this game. You release it with whether they released it with 8 characters, 2 being locked, so 6 characters really. Not the wide range of skins and crazy stuff that we know in Fortnite now, but it seems like even they probably like threw it out there and held their breath. They weren't like, now let's continue working. You know what I'm saying? The battle pass, yeah. Does it feel lazy? Sure. Was it lazy? I don't know that it was lazy or that they were like, holy crap, we have to do something. Let's throw something together real quick.
Well, kind of as you mentioned before, so the CEO of Respawn, Vince Zampella, was doing a live interview, and he even came out and admitted, he said, look, our team was kind of caught by surprise when Apex Legends, top 50 million players in the first month of release. It's like we didn't quite expect that much to happen. And I mean, like, to their credit, they're coming out here and they're like, look, we're going to do some things and we're going to change some things. They do plan to still stick with the seasonal updates. They said, look, we don't now, nor have we ever planned for this to be a game where we're updating weekly with weekly changes and updates. He's like, Respawn overall is not the largest developer. And then the team specifically to Apex Legends is a small team, subset team inside of Respawn. Now, they did go on to say that regarding the other games in development, because as we know that Respawn is also making Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, they said, so I'm going to read a quote from Mr. McCoy, who had wrote it on the blog post. He said, regarding other games in development, Respawn, it is important to understand that there's entirely separate teams working on Apex Legends and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Additionally, in order to fully support Apex Legends, we are pushing out our plans for future Titanfall games. No resources from the Apex Legends teams are going to be shifted to other titles in development here at the studio, nor are we pulling resources from teams that are working on Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. So they're kind of doubling down and saying, look, we hear you about the content stuff. We're definitely, the main thing that they said that they've been working on is like patching and balancing and fighting against people that are hacking and stuff and trying to fix things and close loopholes that people are using to cheat in the game. So we've mostly been focusing on that outside of getting out the first battle pass. He says, we hear you. We're gonna make sure that our Apex Legends team, that are not being pulled around, they're gonna be able to focus on this, and we're gonna try to bring more content. He said, but look, we are very much a studio that believes like we don't believe in crunch. So we're not going to work our small Apex Legends team to death and have them crunch like crazy. It's like we're still planning to keep with these updates where it's seasonal, but we're going to try to improve upon what we've already done. I got no problem with any of this. All of this sounds perfectly reasonable to me.
Yeah.
And I got no problem with somebody loving a game and being like, oh man, I really wish there were a couple more weapons to choose from and a few more skins. Because I'll agree, like, there's not a ton of skins in the game that I really care about. It's really hard to come by the in-game material that you use to create like skins for either the characters or the guns.
Yeah, you only get it in the loot boxes.
Exactly. And you rarely get those.
Right.
But at the same time, there's been so few that I've really desired that badly that I really don't feel that bad. It's kind of like the game is fun. And at least on the console side, we really don't have to deal with, I've never ran across one person that I felt was hacking the game. My understanding is that's a much bigger problem on the PC side for this game in particular, like it is most games. Really.
Always has been, always will be.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure that they have their hands full there and they're dealing with that. And I hope they've been able to fix it or they're constantly fixing, as best that they can. But it's crazy to me how much it seems like people are being a bit vitriolic against this game when it's like, it's a free-to-play game that came out of nowhere, played extremely well, and still plays very well.
Yeah.
Like I just don't understand quite why everybody has so much of an issue with this.
They're just spoiled.
I mean, at the end of the day, that's what I feel like it has to be. Because yes, look, Fortnite does a great job at supporting their game. It is their bread and their butter. It is the biggest game in the world, and they do a great job at continuing to do what they can to make it the best game in the world. Kudos to them. Does Respawn need to, take some hints and maybe up their game a little bit? Sure. But you got to respect a guy that's like, look, I'm not going to work my team to death on a game. He's like, I'm going to do everything that I can, and we're going to try to provide more content. We're not going to pull people off like that, but I'm not going to, like, you see stories just last week, I think, where there was like, oh, there's been crunch over Fortnite at Epic. It's like, you got to respect, you can't sit there and bemoan studios that work their teams to death and then beat them down for that. And then at the same time say like, you're not giving me enough content though.
Well, I think it's funny because it really shows how outrage culture works. right?
Absolutely, it does.
So we want to be outraged that we're not getting enough content, and we want to be outraged for 10 seconds that people are getting worked too hard. It's like you got to choose one, right? I mean, we can't say, I can't believe Fortnite's working their people so hard. Apex, why are you not giving me more stuff? And you're like, which one do you want? This game just came out. You know what I mean?
And a lot of the data the numbers that are being pointed at to say, you know, how the game is doing, not to say that we don't have any actual information, because most of it's looking at like Twitch analytics. So viewership and the number of big name streamers that are playing the game on a consistent basis has definitely gone down. You can look at analytics and see that.
That's how marketing works.
We don't know how many people are still playing the game on any of the prospective platforms, but at the same time, if it was still off and, you know, popping, you know, Respawn would be beating that drum too. So there's all the data out there that are the telltale signs that yes, there is probably a downturn in how much engagement the game's getting. But all I know is I jump in that game and I still never have a problem finding a game. And look, if PUBG is still around and kicking, I really don't have much concern about Apex personally.
And my thing is too, is like, a skin changes the game for y'all that much?
Yes. Or a legend. I mean, look, it's very much like Overwatch to me. Like, I'm still learning about legends. It's like, man, it's like I can tell you I can rank the legends, you know, in the top 10 or whatever, in the order that I think from first to last. Every week it'd probably be different, because I start gravitating to a different one for a different reason. Yeah. And then it's like there's the game is deceptively deep, even though it's in a simple game. If that makes sense. Much like Overwatch.
Or like Smash Brothers.
Yeah, exactly. Because Smash Brothers, again, not having played it, but from the outside looking in, I have always thought like, man, this game's got a lot going on. You can spend a lot of time in this game. Yep. So
I totally agree. And just like as a side note, not as a new story, but I thought it was interesting that I saw that. Did you guys see the University of Georgia, their Fortnite team? When it's first collegiate star league.
Ed showed me this story over the weekend.
And so
amazing.
They won the finals, and they get interviewed afterwards like, so what's next for this duo, man? You guys just won this thing, won a couple $1,000. And they were like, yo, we don't really like this game anymore, so we're probably not going to play it.
That's going out on top, baby.
Yeah, the host was like, let's go to the other guy for a better answer. He's like, what do you got? He's like, we've decided not to play competitive Fortnite anymore. And you're like,
that's amazing.
And so I thought that was so funny. And it just, I mean, you know, it's to what Chris was just saying, like, you know, when you grind out these games and you're playing for hours and hours and hours, like sometimes, especially with that pressure, they weren't playing for fun. They're playing for competitive reasons. And sometimes you just get burnt out and you're like, I don't like this anymore. Yeah. Like, snap. So doggone it.
What's the matter?
There's a video game movie coming out.
Doggone it.
There you go. And the lead in the movie is Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I know. Here's the thing. I know. So the Sonic, you know, the trailer dropped a couple days ago. To my excitement, I was excited to see just like what's going on.
I was wanting to check it out.
Obviously, the poster came out, and as we do nowadays, we all had a knee-jerk reaction to what Sonic's silhouette looked like. They're like, "Oh man, his legs are muscly," and you're like, "Well, I mean, he runs fast. I don't know. You know, we didn't really have anything much to go on." And then the trailer drops, and the best thing for the trailer for me was Jim Carrey. I mean, the fact that it feels like 90-esque, not as far as Ace Ventura, but it feels like the Jim Carrey I've been missing. You know what I'm saying?
Almost like a Fire Marshal Bill kind of?
Yeah, it's like, he's been on a journey, which is, you know, to each his own. But man, people have been tearing up what Sonic looks like.
Yeah.
And I think they probably would have lost either way. Because like we talk about, we live in a rage culture. And so, you know, when the Lion King thing dropped, people were like, why would you call this live action? This is all CGI. Like, you can't call this live action because it's all computer generated. And you're like, okay, well, you have a point. And then Aladdin drops and they're like, why isn't Will Smith blue right away? And you're like, oh, what do you want? And then they show him blue and they're like, I don't like it. He's not going to be Robin Williams. And it's like, listen, nothing can ever please you when it comes to your childhood. So I wonder if that's the way I wonder if that's the way I'm looking at this Sonic thing. I don't like the way he looks either. He looks like adolescent Sonic to me. Like they made him like a teenager, and like he's going through a growth spurt, and he's really tall, and all kind of things I think are wrong about his body.
Well, and I also just thought, because when I heard it was going to be Jim Carrey, I was like, oh wow, I can't wait to see him like in the big round suit to look like the Eggman. And it's like, oh yeah, like Tim said, it's Fire Marshal Bill that's super skinny. I was like, all right, whatever. And Sonic looks kind of weird too.
And then they do show Jim Carrey at the very end, and he looks a lot more Eggman, at least in the face. They just show his face. He's got the
big mustache.
He's got the big mustache and the glasses. And I was like, okay, that's a good way to end the trailer, and at least it calms some people down. But Sonic, boy, they people were upset. And so what was kind of cool about this though was that our boy freaking Stancil, he's got a buddy named Edward Pun who works over at Sucker Punch where Stancil used to work. And Stancil and Edward put up this thing, and he said, I just did a little rework to make Sonic more stylized, and this thing goes pseudo viral.
It did.
As of recording, it's got 193,000 likes, and it's got 53,000 retweets. And so, and he did some changes, but it really made Sonic look better. I think he shortened him up. He skinnied his legs out. He made his feet bigger. His paws are bigger. His eyes are bigger. His head is bigger.
He looks like Sonic.
He looks like Sonic.
He looks like that's, look, it's going to be a video game movie. It's going to make no real sense.
Doggone it.
And from a sense of cinematic, gold, no, this is going to be crap. It's just, it was always going to be. You can have fun with it. You can be entertained, but it was always going to be pretty much a bad movie. You can nail the way Sonic looks. That's all you have to do. Just nail the way he looks. Why would they? This is not the type of thing. The way Sonic looks is not where you want to take creative license to do a different thing. That's not where you do this. You do it with the story. You do it with how they're going to incorporate the gold rings. You do it with, maybe the backstory for Egg Dude that Jim Carrey's playing. Fine. With Sonic, you make him look like Sonic.
I know. So here's the problem.
It doesn't make any sense.
I was wondering about this, Chris. So this movie is banking on the nostalgia of people who played Sonic.
Yes.
But also bringing it to a new generation that's probably never played the old Sonics, right?
Yep. They probably haven't, but there's still Sonic cartoons that are aired right now that look more like these fixes that he did and that other people have done. Like, there's an existing Sonic. There's a Sonic Twitter account that's does pretty well for itself and has a decent amount of followers and gets its own little viral comeback tweets and stuff and has been out there that looks like this corrected version. Make Sonic look like Sonic.
So here's the thing. I called Stancil after I watched the trailer, and I was like, Stancil, you've worked in movies.
Yes.
You know how this goes. Stancil did one of the Alvin and the Chipmunks movies.
Yep.
And I was like, is it too late for them to change how he looked? And he said, I don't know, because I don't remember what the date is that it's coming out. He goes, all I know is this. They did a lot of reworks to Alvin right before the movie came out. I think he said they started reworking Alvin in August, and I think the movie came out in December or something like that.
Wow.
They reworked Alvin, and they voiceovered all three brothers in that time.
Really?
And so, because originally it was Ross B. I forget his last name, but Ross, who does all the Alvin and the Chipmunks, because he does two of the Chipmunks, and then I think his wife does one.
Right.
They've done it since their dad stopped doing it or something like that. But he's the voice that we all know as Alvin and the Chipmunks. And so they got rid of Ross and they brought in like three actors that we would all know. I don't remember who they are. And they recut the whole thing and changed the way Alvin looked, and the movie came out. And so in our culture, the thing that people have going for them that make entertainment is that they can put something out there, get feedback, and fix it if they want to. I don't know that they're going to be able to, I don't know that they will or if their pride will get in the way, but I think it would do them a great service to rework Sonic. I just don't know what all goes into that.
Yeah. Who's making this movie? I don't even remember. Like, is it
Sega? I have no idea. I don't know.
Is it Universal, working with Universal or Marvel, or not Marvel?
It's Paramount.
It's Paramount? Okay.
I think it's Paramount because Paramount has the stars that go around the mountain and they use gold rings,
That's
which I
right.
thought was a nice touch, by the way.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that was a nice touch. So
that was probably the only great thing about the trailer.
I don't know about this. I mean, I didn't want it to be just another video game movie. This is coming to theaters November of this year. So
okay.
They got on their horse, it sounds like, at least to what Stancil was saying, and things can scooch back. It's just saying November. It doesn't say a day. It just says November. You can move it back to December. I don't know what all that does to the theaters, but it seems early enough that they could take the critiques, take what Edward's done, Edward Pun, and really make this at least work. It's not going to change the movie.
Right.
If the movie's bad, the movie's bad. But hopefully they can do something. And I don't always get on this bandwagon, but in this case, I think they should.
Yeah,
I think they should change the way Sonic looks.
For me, like, I'm not even like a huge Sonic fan. But I had a Sega Genesis and I played Sonic games and sure, cool. But it's like it feels like you had so many things stacked against you. It's like this is the one area of this movie where you could for sure hit it out of the park. Just the way that he looks.
Yeah.
And give him like a quippy attitude.
Yep. November 8th, 2019 is the date. In their Twitter thing, it just says speeding into theaters November 19th. And at the end of the trailer, it just says November. But the little header they have says the 8th.
Okay.
But yeah, I agree with you. You got to make him have attitude. I mean, that's everything. And what's funny is that, like, even in their own photos on the Sonic movie Twitter, they have a picture up of Sonic looking like Sonic. And you're like, oh, so you do know what he looks like then.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So
Edward is now lead animator.
I know, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I think they should I think they should do it, man. I think they got to pull the plug on this one.
Yep.
I think they should. I don't think they will, but I think they should.
Yeah,
I agree with you, unfortunately, but I definitely think they should. But regardless, thanks, Jim Carrey.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
For the reminder that you're still that guy, or you could still be that guy.
Yeah, you can still play that guy.
Yeah, exactly. Chris?
Last little thing that I have is just an update of some different things that Sony mentioned, just some milestone stuff at one of their earnings calls that they had. They have now shipped 96.8 million units worldwide.
What, of the PlayStation?
Of the PlayStation 4.
My gosh.
I think they are indeed going to cross over 100 million at the very least.
Wow.
But you would think that this year in particular, and probably next year as well, that it's definitely going to decline, only because people know new hardware is around the corner. But we also know that it's lots of times because, towards the end of a generation, consoles get cheaper, and sometimes people don't jump into the previous generation until it gets towards the end.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's a foregone conclusion now that they're going to pass 100 million at some point.
And you got to understand, you guys, that's a really big deal.
Yes.
Like, just to put in perspective, if you guys remember when the Nintendo Wii came out, it was bonkers, right?
Yeah.
We all agree it was bonkers.
Yes.
That sold 101 million consoles.
Really?
So if the PlayStation 4 eclipses 101 and beats the Nintendo Wii, number one, that's a big deal. Number two, the original PlayStation sold 104 million. So if they were to beat that, that's a big deal. That would mean that the PlayStation 2 and the PlayStation 4 would both be, and the original PlayStation would be in the top 5 like consoles ever sold.
Wow.
And I feel like I do think they'll pass 101. I think they'll pass the Wii. I think they've got a good shot at beating PS1 as well, because they're probably going to continue to sell, even when whatever the next PlayStation is, they're probably for half that generation still going to be selling the PS4.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and it's just, I don't see how they can't not do it at this point.
I mean, that's pretty amazing.
It's nuts. Yeah.
Wow.
It's really crazy.
That's insane. I mean, that's passing up a lot of other things, man. I mean, just to think of the behemoth that Xbox 360 was, it would be leaving that in the dust by over 20 million units.
Wow, really?
You know, and the only things that, so right now, in GuinnessWorldRecords.com, the number one selling console is PlayStation 2, 157 million.
Okay.
Number 2 is the Nintendo DS at 154.
Mm-hmm.
And then it drops down to the Game Boy at 118 million. Then the PlayStation at 104. So if the PlayStation 4 gets up to number 4, moving the PlayStation to number 5, that would be 3 out of the top 5 consoles would be owned by Sony, which is
wow,
incredible.
Yeah, it's insane.
Wow.
So just a little bit more information that they touched on. They did make, good Lord, I can't speak. They gave some information about PlayStation Now. They said that they have over 700,000 subscribers.
That seems like a lot.
Yeah, it does seem like a lot. It's a much bigger number than I was expecting to be the case. And they also reveal, and I don't think this is going to surprise any of us here in particular, or any of our listeners really, but that format holders revealed the user preference for downloading games instead of streaming them online. They said, in fact, downloading games on PlayStation Now is actually twice as popular as streaming them, despite the fact that Sony only implemented the download feature last September.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
They also went on to say that PlayStation Now currently features 750 games and that the audience has increased by 40% every year since it launched.
Wow. What?
Really?
Yep. So
I've never even thought of getting
Now.
PlayStation Now.
I
I've never
haven't
even
either.
thought of it.
I tried it. I did the 1 week trial way back when it first came out.
Yes,
and
me
I
too.
really wanted to try it again just because now that I have so much better internet, just because I'm, if nothing else, a morbid curiosity. I want to see how it does. And I think I will do it at some point this year, I think. But
Yes.
I just got to figure out when I'm wanting to bounce into giving
I'll
that
tell you
one
this,
more
man.
shot.
Stadia needs to just take note. Not saying that you guys need to go to a download format, but just take note of what that says, that they have 700,000 subscribers and over half of them would like to download more than stream. Now, this is a bad comparison, but I just did it just to see what it was like. I don't remote play ever. And so I couldn't get the remote play to work on my PlayStation because I didn't have my DualShocks in the house. So I decided to go with the Xbox route, which Xbox, you can stream to your Windows 10 device. Supposed to be no problem on the same network. I don't know what those speeds look like, but I would imagine it's better than 25 megabits. I was just guessing.
Yeah.
And I ain't like it. I didn't like it at all.
You're saying within just your home network doing
just
it
my home network going from my
Xbox to the computer
to my laptop. That's right. Same network. I just went into Apex just to see. Now Apex is twitchy. I get that. If I was playing a role-playing game, I wouldn't be able to tell the difference because it's so slow moving anyway, and turn-based if it's that kind of game. And so it just worries me for the Stadia because of the things that they're going to be bringing out. Obviously, Assassin's Creed being a big thing that they're going to be launching with. I played that on Project Stream. Again, it's close, but man, it's still just is laggy. So I hope Stadia is taking note. I know their thing is to stream. 700,000 people, over 350,000 of them can't be lying.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying about that.
Yep.
So just 2 quick stories to end us off on the news. The new Harry Potter Wizards Unite has moved from just being in New Zealand to being in Australia as well. We've seen this a lot with games. They did this with Mario Run, where they launched things in New Zealand and Australia to kind of get all the bugs out, and then they slowly roll it out to the rest of the world. So people are playing it in Australia now.
Oh man.
And I know, right? And GameSpot there in Sydney tried it out, said it was fun. So we'll see. I don't, it's hard for lightning to strike twice. So I don't know if this will be another Pokemon Go situation where we see just a bunch of people walking around looking at their phones and, trying to cast spells on street signs and stuff like this.
Right.
But I know that when it comes out, I'll be trying it just because I like being a part of the thing right when it gets here.
Yep.
Especially when it's free.
Right.
And then a story out of the UK, this is from the Telegraph. They did. They surveyed over 2,000 adults, and which I guess is the magic number because that's how many people we survey. It seems like when we come up with these broad, sweeping numbers. Yeah. But they said 85% of under 35-year-olds play video games. No surprise there, even though that's a really high number, 85%. 42% of 55 to 64-year-olds say they are gamers.
Yeah.
And have played video games in the last 5 years.
That makes sense.
And then 25% of over 65-year-olds claim to be gamers. 25%. I thought that felt high for over 65.
Seems a little high.
Years old. Yeah. Now, this is the UK. I don't know how different that is. But I thought that was really interesting. I was like, 25. Like, I don't think 25% of the over 65-year-olds I know play video games. I know I'll be one of them once I reach that, but as of now, I thought that was a really high number, and I was like, I like to hear that. Go ahead with your bad selves.
It does rain a lot in the UK, so maybe everyone's playing video games.
Exactly. Chris, are you out?
Yes.
Eduardo, lay it all the way on us, buddy.
All righty. Well, over on the YouTube channel, new this week, we've got 2 parts of Days Gone. It's about 7 hours that's up there right now, and you can check some of that out. And of course, we do have some free games for you.
Yes.
That's right. Over on the PS Plus, Overcooked and What Remains of Edith Finch. I feel like we've had those a few times. Maybe we've had them on the Xbox, and that's why it feels like it. But
I don't know if we got the first Overcooked or not on PlayStation.
Yeah.
It sounds familiar, though.
I feel like we did.
And
I'm kind of
like
with
we
Ed.
did.
I feel like we've gotten both of those, but it could have been that I may have played Edith Finch on Xbox. That may have been where
I don't know if I'm thinking of it on Game Pass, right. And so I don't know.
I feel like Edith Finch is for sure.
Yeah.
But looking at the games that I own on the PlayStation Store, I don't own Overcooked, and usually when stuff goes free, I at least add it to my library.
Right.
So maybe
interesting.
It's the first time it's come to PlayStation.
Yeah. Over on the Xbox, for the entire month of May, you can grab Marooners. I don't know what that is. From May 16th to June 15th, the Golf Club 2019 featuring PGA Tour. I don't know if that's a good one if you're a golf gamer.
Did you play? I feel like, Chris, did you play that one?
Which one?
Golf Club. Did you get into that?
Yes.
Is that a good one?
Yeah. I enjoyed Golf Club 1. I played Golf Club 2, enjoyed it as well. It was a little bit harder, but I still enjoyed it. They have a new version of the Golf Club. I've not played that third version.
Oh, nice. There you go.
I'm not sure about that one.
On the 360 and on the Xbox One via backward compatibility, May 1st through the 15th, Earth Defense Force Insect Armageddon. And
there you go.
From May 16th to the 31st, Comic Jumper. And then also our good friends over at Game Pass have released a few more games that are coming out in the month of May. Available now, Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus.
Yes.
I mean,
you said that's a good one.
No excuse, right? I mean,
nope.
You might not want to have the kids right there, but
that's right.
It's a good time.
Right.
And also
send them to bed after you play Days Gone in front of them, and then
exactly
get into a little.
They'll be fine. And a game called War Groove. I'm not familiar with that one. Out on May 9th, 3 games. One called Tacoma, one called Black Desert, one called Surviving Mars. On May 10th, For the King. On May 16th, The Surge. And on May 16th as well, Lego Batman 3. That's definitely a good one, especially if you're a Lego fan. If I know a lot of people now, they're not super big on the Lego games, especially with their kids, because they've gotten very complex, especially for kids.
That's what I thought too when I was watching. So I don't remember if I was watching you play, but I was like, oh, my kids can't play this game. There's no way.
Lego Batman 3 is definitely one that was before it got super involved. So that might be one if you like to play games with your kids or your wives or your husbands. That's definitely one that you might want to pick up. Those are definitely good times. And we have one new review this week.
Oh, we do?
We do, yes.
Hit it.
This is from Adam W. Rose. And the title is Top Notch Video Game Podcast. 5 stars.
Ooh.
For those with kids and wives and 9 to 5s, you definitely need to check this group of guys out. I started listening when Gabe was on SBFVGSCSILA.
Super Best Friends Video Game Sleepover.
There you go.
NCIS.
That's right. And have been listening ever since. So good job, Gabe. I look forward to every Friday when I get to listen to what the team's doing. I just need to add them on my PS friends list so we can all play some Apex Legends.
Let's get it, baby.
Thank you for that.
I don't know,
review,
man. They don't
Adam.
add enough stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, that game. Don't get me started. So bad. Ugh.
Yeah. Thanks for that review, Adam. I appreciate that. That's awesome.
Oh, that's great.
So
Thank
cool.
you,
sir.
That's so cool. I was talking to someone. I don't remember our friends last week, and then we got together and we were talking about the podcast, and he looked it up and he said, you guys have almost like all 5-star reviews. And so it was just kind of cool to see him look at it, see that we've got 167 5-star reviews.
Wow.
And just,
You guys.
I didn't realize that, and I look at it every week and I didn't realize
That's pretty legit,
what it was.
man.
And that was really cool to see. So thank you everyone who's left a review. It's really awesome.
What a community.
It really is.
Right.
Y'all are awesome.
And if you've left less stars than that, there's always time to change it.
That's right.
I'm just kidding. Thanks for keeping it real.
Search your hearts.
Right. The service isn't over yet. There's always time to repent.
Yeah,
That's right.
Exactly right.
Come to Jesus.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Thanks, Ed.
You bet.
Well, every week we ask you guys a question. Last week is no different. We asked, who in the gaming industry would you like to run into and strike up a conversation with? Starting over on Facebook, we got Daniel High. He says Phil Spencer would be an awesome person to meet in person. I would love to ask him about the Xbox and how they strategize when in the midst of a console war. Maybe ask him at the beginning of this next one. Haley Nicole Miller, Greg Miller, or Alana Pierce. I had never heard of Alana Pierce, but Daniel High commented on hers and said, Alana seems super chill. And Haley says, she's my inspiration, to be honest.
Wow.
That's awesome.
There you go. Travis Pospisil, I would love to run into the other 3 MTTG hosts that I haven't met yet. That's right.
There you go.
Me and Travis got to kick it in Huntsville with Robert Darrowgood Jr. The Third Esquire.
Just went off the rails.
Night show.
Night show.
Oh, man.
Jeremy Hall says anyone from Bethesda or Reggie from Nintendo.
Oh, nice. There you go.
Formerly
You mean Reggie from retirement.
Nintendo. Yeah, exactly right. It'll still be fun to run into Reggie. I'd have all kind of questions.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, be like, I know you weren't there, but the virtual boy.
Right. And who knows? Maybe he'd be a little more relaxed answering those questions now.
Yeah, he'd be like, I know, right? Those jokers. Try working there. Over on Twitter, Joseph Grimm at By Grace I Am Saved. I would like to meet Gabe Patillo.
What?
Hey.
Almost
There you
got to a while back, but things didn't work out, which I understand. Wonders if he ever sleeps. With faith, family, music, and games in common, there's a lot I'm sure we could talk about. Though I would have to ask the infamous E3 story.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
we haven't shared that story, have we? That's been
You haven't shared that story.
6 years in 6 years in the making.
It's only 6 years.
Yeah.
Only 6 years to go.
That
Episode
story, by
1000.
the way. Yeah, exactly. That story, by the way, kicked off this whole podcast.
Yeah, it did.
Which is crazy.
It's a great story, too.
Yeah, thank you. Juan Pedro Garcia at JP Garcia 04. Phil Spencer to thank him for turning the Xbox brand around after that debacle with the launch.
Oh, yeah.
I know that's right.
That is
Definitely
true.
did that.
Yeah. Tess at Loki Lover 101. I couldn't decide on just one. Here's my list. Nolan North, Troy Baker, Greg Bryk, B-R-Y-K,
Oh, yeah.
Roger Clark, and Corey Barlog.
Nice. Greg is
I know that's
the bad guy in the latest the father in the Far Cry game.
Yes.
Which Far Cry?
Far Cry 5?
5.
Far Cry 5. The father. Oh, yes, the father.
Yes.
Joseph.
That
Yes.
kind of father.
Yes.
Sorry, I was thinking about like the dad. I
Oh,
was like,
gotcha.
when was there a dad? Over on I feel like I missed one that I wanted to read. Nope. I think I got all this. Yep, got all this. Over on Discord, we've got Jared Orr. He said Cory Barlog, who directed God of War. I'm actually reading his novelization of the game right now. I'd love to just hang out with him. Also, Colin Moriarty. All his content on Colin's Last Stand is great, not just the video game stuff. I'd love to shake his hand and thank him for how he's positively influenced my life.
That's awesome. So cool.
I love that. I need to go listen to some Colin stuff because I hear it's awesome.
Very smart guy.
Yeah, that's what I hear. _wrong, Amy Hennig.
Yeah.
She has worked on games for the Atari, SNES, Genesis, Dreamcast, OG Xbox, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PS1, PS2, PS4, and PS Vita.
I didn't realize that. Wow.
Just thinking about the games she has worked on, wow.
And I'd want to be like, man, what happened with that Star Wars game? Come on.
Yeah. What was the story? Just tell me the story.
I'm on your side. It don't matter. You don't got to win me.
Come on.
Exactly. Nathan Dugas. Not technically part of the game industry, but really, I'd like to meet everyone on the MTTG cast. I've been listening for over 6 years, but due to living in Alaska and missing my one opportunity to meet Gabe when he was in Anchorage some years ago, I haven't been able to meet you all. The closest I came to that was playing Destiny with Chris McCracken before he joined the crew.
Yep.
He said, what's that? Skolas, am I right? Skolas, am I right? Question mark. You guys make every Friday or other day in previous years better. Oh, Nathan.
Come on, man.
Copy paste that to the iTunes review.
Let's play some Overwatch.
Copy paste 5 stars.
Yeah, come on, play some Overwatch. You can talk to all of us. We've all played it a little bit. Thank you guys so much for answering the question. You know where to find us. Facebook.com/married to the game. Come join the group. It's awesome. The MTTG community. It's really great. People are putting up memes, talking back and forth on there. It's very cool. Twitter.com/MTTGcast. Of course, marriedtothegames.com. Like Ed said, YouTube.com/marriedtothegames. On Patreon, if you want to support the show, Patreon.com/MTTG. And gearing up for Extra Life, extra-life.org/team/MTTG. Come join the team. We'll raise some money for some kids. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
For the sick children. Because I believe the children are future.
Teach them well
and help them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of right. Okay.
Whoa.
All right.
That little
look at that.
up at the end, that means we don't have to pay any copyright royalties because it's slightly different.
Right.
That's not exactly how it goes. That's right.
That's right.
Oh, my gosh.
Very smart of you, Gabe,
Yes,
to
well
sing it that
played.
way.
Yeah, no problem.
Played. Thanks, Legal.
Yeah. And Tim Router.
Rate us on iTunes so we can stop the final boss scene in Kingdom Hearts 3 because they're still talking.
Jeez. They probably are, too.
Yeah. That's funny.
Oh, man. Well, let's get into some questions.
Discord. Nathan Dugas. For those of you who have been married at least 10 years, what did you do for your 10th anniversary? Our 10th is coming up on the 16th, so I put together a special custom gift for my wife, and we are taking a day trip away from the kids. We'd do something bigger if we didn't already have a big trip for my sister's wedding in July.
Who's been married over 10 years? Me, you, Chris, you've been married over 10 years?
We will be 9 this year.
9 this year. So you and Ed listen up.
Yes,
Oh, we've got
Router.
10.
Oh, you guys are past 10 already? What is it?
Yeah, it'll be 12 this year.
Holy crap.
Nice.
I forget that we got married the same year.
Yeah, man.
That's it. That's it.
Okay, so Ed, you kick us off. What'd you guys do for your 10-year anniversary?
We went down to Florida, went to Harry Potter World, and went to Disney.
That's right.
Universal and Disney.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
Thank you.
Tim?
Lauren and I went on a trip to Italy for 15 days.
Nice.
And it was amazing.
You should have gone last.
Right? I just know, man. I'm setting you up. I just stacked it all up. You can knock it down right here.
Thanks a lot. We went to Chicago and saw Bruno Mars.
Oh man, that's awesome.
That's way better than Rome.
Yeah, exactly right. Way cheaper than Rome.
Yes, very
That's
true.
what it says on Bruno's iTunes review. Better than Rome.
Better than Rome.
5 stars.
Right.
That's awesome, though. Hey, you know,
so Chris, you got to do one of those 3 things.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got options.
Congratulations, Nathan. That's awesome.
Yeah,
yes, that's awesome. Keep that fire burning, baby.
Right.
That's right. Hollywood Bones. What the heck was that?
Welcome to Junkertown.
Nothing but the dog in me. All right. Would you rather be alone for the rest of your life or always be surrounded by annoying people?
Alone.
Alone. For the love of...
How annoying are we talking?
Oh, it doesn't matter. There's probably various levels of annoying people. Either way, I'm alone.
Chris?
I'm going annoying.
Ooh.
Nice.
Because
I think
at
I'm
the
going
end of the
annoying
day,
people
like
too.
if you're around it
You have
that
patience.
much, eventually the annoyance part will fade because I'm a person who likes my alone time and likes to be, in solitude and, do my own thing for a while. But man, it sucks when that's all you have.
Right.
Loneliness
That's solitary
sucks,
confinement.
Yeah, that's
People go
not
crazy.
fun. So
Mhm.
I will learn to deal with the annoyance, and soon the annoyance will become the norm. And then
I
it'll be-
am with Chris on that one, and Ed and Tim can go talk to a volleyball.
Yeah,
We
man.
will.
We will play games.
Wilson. Yeah, we will play games.
Oh,
Exactly.
man. Oh, I know it. Bring on the annoying people.
Mm.
Nice. All right, VP B Butters. Your wife is out for the next few weeks with the kids. You are alone. After playing games and watching movies a couple days, you are bored. So here's our multiple choice. You, A, watch more movies and play more games. B, actually work on the honey-do list around the house.
Gabe.
C, fix that thing you wanted to fix.
Yeah.
D, go on a road trip. E, fall into depression because you are alone.
See the
Uh,
loneliness thing.
He said, "I've done A to D already, and the wife will be back. Won't be back until June. I even joined my
Whoa.
company's dragon boat racing team for crying out loud.
Well, I
Wow.
sure haven't seen you playing Overwatch.
Yeah, where you been?
Yeah.
Come on, Better Bay.
Butters.
You haven't done everything. Thanks for calling.
Well, maybe because he fell into a depression and he's now
Oh,
alone and he doesn't
no.
want to play Overwatch. No, I would do all of that except for the depression part.
Yeah. Man. My wife is leaving next week, but she's leaving the kids with me. So
Mm.
I'm be trying to keep 3 little nuggets alive.
I believe in you.
nugget.
You
Yeah.
can do it.
Yep. I would say A, the movies and the video games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go A too.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's definitely some movies I could go take in.
Oh, heck yeah.
Or
Maybe
you
start
could
my movie
take
pass
in some
subscription
movies
back
you
up.
already seen. Maybe.
What
Nah,
is
I ain't doing
that?
Yeah.
Oh
I
God,
would
man,
do
Gabe,
that.
You're so weird.
There's a lot of series
So
to be
weird.
binge watching.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather like start up like I've never seen Game of Thrones, so I like rather
Yes,
start
do
that
that.
up than watch Age of Ultron.
Okay,
But
I
what
can see
about
that.
Endgame? That was a
That was
long
great.
movie. There's no way you got it all and retained every bit of that.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm not going to see that again.
Probably because he had
So
to pee
funny.
right.
I don't
Right
have
at the
3
start.
3 hours, man. That was a long time, baby.
You're a weird cat, man.
Now it flew by for me personally.
Yeah.
But just knowing that it's 3 hours, it's one of the reasons I didn't see Ray when it first came out because they were like, it's amazing, but it's long. So I bought it on DVD the day it came out and then watched it like 2 years later.
Nice. Yeah, I'm glad you paced yourself. As long as you paced yourself.
Mhm. Deep breaths.
Yep.
One note a day.
Exactly. George. Yep.
That's right. That's all you get for that day.
That's right.
Georgia.
I ain't get the A even in there. That's a different
Yep.
note.
Yep.
Tuesday, Georgia. Yep. That's awesome. All right. Beefmaster Soda. This is actually pretty funny. Quick fire.
Ooh.
Original or remake? Here we go. Ready?
Okay.
Oh,
Casino Royale or Casino Royale?
Definitely the remake.
I'll just read them all off because it's hilarious.
Let's do it one by one. We'll do it one by one. I'm going remake on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm going remake.
I don't even know what that is.
That's a James Bond movie.
James Bond.
Yeah, I hadn't seen either. So
okay. Ocean's 11 or Ocean's 11?
I haven't seen the first
remake.
one. I'm gonna go and remake on that one too. That was a really
remake
good one.
on that one.
Chris?
This one I have
guess
not
remake. I've only seen one. I thought there only was one.
You didn't know it was a remake?
Yep.
No,
Really?
I didn't know.
With the Rat Pack. The Rat Pack
Rat
did the
Pack,
first
yeah.
one.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry, man. I was not alive then.
Me either. But
Neither was I.
None of us were. Well, maybe me.
yeah. Tim directed
Tim
it.
was.
Mi-
Yeah. Tim probably directed it.
That's right. I starred in it. Actually, I was DP. Manchurian Candidate or Manchurian Candidate?
I never saw either one.
I
I
never-
haven't
know,
either.
That's one I wanted to see. I haven't seen
I'm
that
bad
one.
at this one.
Willy Wonka or Charlie and the Chocolate
Willy
Factory?
Wonka all day long.
Yeah, man.
Yep. Original.
Yeah, OG.
I'm going Tim Burton.
Really?
Yeah, I do like it. No,
I
I'm
did
with
not
you.
like the first one.
What?
The original.
What?
I did not like it.
You liked it with Johnny
only
Depp
thing
better.
I did not like in the first one was when the mom was in there in the washing the clothes or
Veruca
whatever and
Salt.
sang the song. Everything
Yeah.
else I like.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
I do like
Spoiler alert. Jeez.
I do like Johnny Depp. I thought he did a good job. But yeah, man, the original you can't beat. Like that's
Tim
a
Burton did.
According to that, you can't.
I guess.
But
There you go.
I'm with you, man. No, man.
I know I'm in the
Original.
minority on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all good. Magnificent Seven or Magnificent Seven?
I didn't see the other
Oh,
one.
I didn't see that. That's the Quentin Tarantino movie, right?
That's the
No,
Hateful
that was
Eight.
the
Oh, that's
Hateful
Hateful
No, it's
Eight.
Hateful Eight.
Sorry.
You were close.
Yeah.
I'll pick that one.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't see.
We'll go Quentin for the win on that
I
one.
didn't go. I didn't see either three of those. So.
This is a good one. La Totale or True Lies?
I
True
never
Lies.
saw Lots of Towels.
True,
so I
yeah.
guess True Lies.
Yeah, True
Have you
Lies,
seen
yeah.
that?
Dawn of the Dead or Dawn of the Dead?
Didn't see either.
I
That's
never saw
scary.
either one.
Me either.
No, I didn't see him either.
Shoot.
Oh, Italian Job or Italian Job? I love the
The remake was.
remake.
I only
was
have only seen the
fantastic.
remake, so I'm happy to go
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with that.
That was so good. Scarface or Scarface?
They redid
I didn't know-
Scarface.
I didn't think they redid Scarface. So
Was
that might
the
be
Scarface we know a remake?
the
Really?
Tony
I don't
Montana
know.
one? I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't think so. I
I'll
thought
go
Scarface
the Al
was
Pacino one.
Yes.
Yeah,
let's
which the
go.
Al
one that
Pacino
is.
one for sure.
Al Pacino,
Sure.
Scarface. Ed, I know what your answer is going to be on this one. Bedtime Story or Dirty Rotten Scoundrels?
Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Come on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or the new remake of Dirty Rotten Scoundrels that with the two girls. Who is
Melissa
that?
McCarthy's in it?
It's the blonde Australian funny girl who's in the acapella movies. She's in it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I don't remember who the other one is.
Huh.
I don't
I've
remember,
never
but
seen it.
Dirty Rotten
No.
Scoundrels is pretty hilarious.
The original
Yeah.
Scarface came out in 1932.
Wow.
Yeah, well,
Jeez.
I was around there. That
Yep.
was DP. so
Obviously.
we'll see.
Yep.
Yeah.
You were the one that was like, I'm telling you, there's this new thing called Technicolor we should use, but
That's right.
go with your own devices. Yeah.
Cut and print, Johnny. Let's go. All
Exactly.
right, that was good. Thank you for that. That was a lot of
Running
fun.
out of tape
That
here,
was
man.
That's quiet on set, please. Quiet on set. Facebook, Brian Niebel. Not so much a question as it is a comment. Just wanted to thank you guys for being a part of my 10+ hour road trip from Nashville, Tennessee to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina and back.
Ooh.
That's right.
Oh.
10+ hours each way in a box truck, and listening to the podcast helps me out so much. So thank you for being part of my super long road trips. It truly blesses me to have a good laugh while I'm driving such long distances. Oh yeah, did I mention I'm driving these by myself?
Oh,
Oh,
man.
Wow.
Jeez.
Thanks for having us along.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
I'm
Glad to
we
be a
can-
part of it.
I'm
Yeah.
glad we could keep you awake too. That would be
Yeah.
nice.
That makes you double down on the whole road crew thing.
Right?
Road crew.
Yep. Here we go. Twitter at Chad Fackler 1. Hey guys, sorry this is kind of late. My wife is rappelling down a 16-story building for charity this year for the second year in a row.
I was going to say again.
I know, right? So made me think to ask this question.
Nope.
Yep. What is the craziest thing you have ever done to help out a person or group or charity?
That's hard. I haven't done too much.
Streamed a game.
Yeah, I would say 24 hours, obviously, for Extra Life.
Yeah.
And then I did do that, what was it, the ALS?
Oh, the bucket
Oh,
challenge?
the bucket thing?
I did the
yeah.
ice bucket challenge as well.
Yeah.
It's not too crazy, but it was cold. But I did it in my
Yep.
Married to the Game shirt. Kept me warm. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right.
That was good, man.
Edward?
Yeah, probably a 24-hour stream.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
My kid fell out the chair and everything. I went back and looked at the clip. I didn't even care. I was so tired by that point. I was like, he'll be fine.
Yeah, he's good.
Rub some
They
tussin
bounce
on
when they're young.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not very exciting either. I did just the ALS thing, and I've done half of a stream.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm the same, but I didn't do 24. I've only done 12.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Nice. At Gabe56 Life. It's my birthday, and my kids are eating my dessert because I'm on a diet. My question, have you ever been on a diet and missed out on deliciousness?
Isn't that every diet?
Yeah, right?
Like, that's why you're dieting. It's 'cause
Listen,
you're eating
right?
too much deliciousness.
life's too short to not eat deliciousness.
Yeah. I mean, we go by the 80-20 rule. And
Ooh, I like that.
if 80% of what you eat is good, you can have a piece of birthday cake.
Yeah.
You know, and that way you're not on a list of here's everything you can't have.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what makes diets hard, I think, is knowing you can't. Here's a list of everything I can't do.
Yeah.
Look, just eat sensibly 80%, the other 20, have some cake, have a donut.
Thanks for saving your 20% for every time you're in Nashville.
That's right.
I know, right? You can save that up, and I definitely used all of my 20s from the year in Dallas this week.
There you go.
Awesome.
Bank that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. All right, final question, and this is good from our boy Jeff the Android at Remake Yourself. Predict the holiday 2020 console shelf at Best Buy. What SKUs and what prices? Here's his guess. Switch Lite, $149. Switch Rev B, $299 with game. PS5 1 terabyte SSD, $399. Xbox 2X, $399 or $499 with 12-month Game Pass /gold.
No, that's too cheap.
Did he say 2019?
He said 2020.
2020.
Oh, 2020. Okay.
Xbox 2 streaming box, $149 or $199 with 12-month Game Pass or gold.
Sheesh.
Isn't that good?
Yeah, that's
Some
right.
thought into this.
Yeah, he put a lot of thought on it. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I'll say empty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to get anything.
It's the holidays.
I'm going to say PlayStation 5, $500.
Ooh,
Yep.
yeah.
Xbox, same price because they can't be more expensive. PlayStation 3 tried that and it failed miserably.
They could be $100 less.
Yeah, they just can't be more. I don't see them being
Yeah.
less. I don't see them being $399.
No,
But
I
maybe
don't
they could
see
be
one
$450. But I think it's
Yeah.
gonna be,
If they stick with the spinning discs, I could see them pull off 100 less.
Yeah, with SSD though, it's got to be more expensive. Although that has gone down in cost.
Yeah, but this
over
one's
the
supposed
past
to be faster than what's available and proprietary.
Yep,
Right.
yep.
Oh.
And then
500 it is then.
he's right. Both switches, but I think we'll have those this Christmas. So I think they'll
Probably.
be cheaper next Christmas.
Mhm.
So I don't know what the prices are. I can't think about it.
Yeah.
But I will throw this in there.
Okay.
This might be this Christmas too, though. I think by next Christmas we'll have the PS2 mini and the N64 mini and a Dreamcast mini or something like that.
You don't think they'll do
there
a
you go.
PS2 mini after what happened
Yeah,
before?
I just think they'll do it better. I don't think they're going to stop swinging. You know, companies usually learn from their mistakes sometimes and make it better the next time. I think that's what Sega did with the Dreamcast coming off the Saturn. It was just too. It was just too ahead.
much.
It was ahead of its time. I think it was too much. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What say you guys, Chris? What's
I
a
mean,
surprise you think we'll have that we don't know exists right now that we'll get in 2020? Because we all
Oh,
agree on the
jeez.
consoles, right? I mean, both Xbox
Yeah.
and PlayStation will be out.
Yeah.
I could maybe see they made a big to do about the next PlayStation being compatible with the current PSVR. But I could see them maybe launching with a next generation version PSVR as well.
Yep. That's
That
glasses.
would be a surprise to me if it's that early. I mean, clearly it's going to be a thing, but to be like launch window or launch time frame of the next PlayStation, that would be surprising.
I don't think they'll double skew like that. I don't know if they'll ask us to buy two things at once.
No.
I think they'll open up the window and want to sell the console, not sell the console and another $250 or
but
$300.
see, that's where I think that they'll get around it. Just like this generation, when they did the whole the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, they're like, look, if you're the hardcore and you want it, cool. You don't need it. You're good over here. They're going to be like, look, you don't need it because your old PSVR works and still looks great. And there's this huge library of games. But if you want to spend the money, we got it for you.
Do you think it'll be like the sexy slim version where it's like, obviously it's not going to be just glasses, but like super lightweight?
No, I don't think form factor will likely even change that much. I think it's mostly just going to be a resolution bump and a speed bump from like the refresh rate and whatnot.
There you go.
Yeah.
If I had to guess.
Ed, what do you think? What's a surprise in 2020 we might not see coming?
Console formerly known as Madbox.
Oh, nice.
Don't do it, slightly mad. Don't listen to him. He wants your demise. Yeah. Tim?
It'll be free with every purchase over $10.
Man, that's what they're doing with the PlayStation console now. I mean, the
they are.
PlayStation Mini,
right?
they're literally giving it away to people who buy a Pro, right? If you buy a PlayStation 4 Pro, you get the thing for free. Was
that just for a limited time? Is that over now?
I don't know, but it was ridiculous that they were giving it away. It was $100 when it launched. Gracious.
Ugh.
I think Jeff is spot on a lot of these. I think the PS5 1 terabyte SSD is going to be more, and they're going to bundle it with The Last of Us 2 because that's pretty much when it's coming out.
You think they'll bundle it at launch?
Yeah, they're gonna bundle something.
They gotta have a bundle, right?
Yeah,
Not for
I don't know.
$500, right?
I could see it being the month after. Granted, it may have already been out a month by the time holiday.
It could be November, right?
That's right.
Because I feel like The Last of Us is a perfect game to have a themed console.
Yeah,
yeah,
and
absolutely.
they don't usually do those that early on, but I mean, I could see it.
Well, look at the Battlefront theme with was that the Pro, the PS4 Pro, or was that just PS4?
It was a regular PS4. It was a regular PS4. Yeah,
that's right.
Let me ask you this.
Cool.
Let me ask you guys this. Do you think there's any way that Sony has the guts to launch the PS5 and let Last of Us be an exclusive on there where it's not on PS4? There's no way, right?
No way.
I don't think so.
No.
Because they've. I think when they played that demo that last E3 when we had 300, I think it did one of the whole like capture it on PlayStation 4 Pro. They wouldn't show that with that in text and then not release the game.
That's
on
what
console.
I think. I think that game. I still think that game's coming this year. I really want it to be this holiday.
I do too. I
like November-ish.
I'm cautiously optimistic. That would be my Christmas present from them. That's for sure. That would be amazing. I would love that.
I can see Death Stranding be PS5 only though. I don't think it will be.
It will be both too.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Death Stranding comes out bundled by 2020.
I don't know if that's a console seller. Oh.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it would be.
It is.
It is to you.
I think it would be.
I'm not saying
honestly,
it'll be bigger than like Spider-Man necessarily, but I'm telling you, people will buy that game because of that.
And honestly, they could just on what we've seen so far, they could do some really cool stuff and make a themed console out of that too. So.
That's for sure. That has more themability, I feel like, than Last of Us even.
I honestly hope
baby head sticking out of it or something.
For both of those, for both of those, for Death Stranding and for The Last of Us, I personally would much rather it be just a collector's edition with some kind of like a statue or whatever, because that's going to be easier for me to swing than themed console that I'm not going to want to use.
Yeah. That's right. Exactly. Don't want to take out of the box.
True.
Exactly.
Yep.
That was good, man. Thanks, Jeff. That was great. That's it for all the questions. Thank you, everybody.
Nice.
Thank you guys. Question for you guys this week. Talked about Battle Royale, talked about it, it's not long in the tooth yet. I think that games can still come out, be battle royale, and still do well. What IP do you think should get the battle royale treatment? What IP
Borderlands.
do you think? Ooh, Borderlands.
Oh, snap.
There's a lot of characters in that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and they just released some gameplay from Borderlands 3, by the way.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
I
Chris?
got to go back and watch it. I'm very excited.
Man, I don't know. I mean, I do like that idea of Borderlands. I mean, just because from the sheer number of characters, and it's already a first-person shooter, which I know not all of the battle royales are first person. There's a good handful of them that are third, and some that mix between the two, third and first. You can swap between them, but I feel like it works best in first. That's just a personal preference, and Borderlands is a first-person games.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, man, I don't really know.
I have
outside
two.
of that.
I've got two that I think.
Good, I'll take your other one.
Yeah, exactly. One of them will never happen. But like, if we had a Marvel battle royale, I think that could be extremely fun. Maybe even in the like the Lego like way of doing things. I think that could be fun. And I think that they could add. I think they could. I don't think they're going to, but I think they could add a battle royale to Overwatch.
Yeah.
If they haven't already, where it's like last man standing and, it's between 16 and 32 people,
right?
Or, something
what?
Like that.
They had something during like either the Halloween, because I remember I did it and instantly like was one of the first people killed. And I'm like, oh, well, there goes that. I'm going back to the other stuff. But they did do like a game that was a small battle royale mode.
Was it battle royale? Was it?
I think you're thinking of free for all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You died and was out?
Yeah, that was it.
Wow.
I can't remember when it was.
I won't be surprised if someone comes up with one in the new mode that
it was a no gravity. I remember it was a no gravity battle royale. So I don't remember.
Well, but you might have been playing a custom game. If you were playing a custom game, then I can see that. But
that's what made me think of it, because when whoever it was it Kaplan that had that announcement a couple weeks ago about modes and stuff like that? I was like, ooh, I bet somebody's gonna make a good battle royale out of this. And I'm a little mad that they haven't done, and maybe they haven't, I just missed it, but I want it on console or something like stout. I'm surprised they haven't done like a Hunger game.
Ooh, yeah.
Where that like, actual license you're talking about.
Yeah, that actual IP where you could be, a bunch of those different characters that were in the books. I feel like that was the first time I'd even like thought of battle royales when I read that book. And I
think you could get away with it without even actually playing or having any of the actual characters. Because I mean,
just call it Hunger Games,
from,
right?
and just one of the people from one of the districts.
Yep,
that could totally work.
Or a 007, GoldenEye situation. That'd be hilarious.
I could see. I think it was back on April 1st when they were doing. It was an April Fool's thing, but there was something that was shown that was like it was just a haha, but it was Bloodborne Battle Royale. I do think some game that's off of the From Software style of playing a game, I think that could make. I think they could do a battle royale. I don't think it needs to be the kind where you drop in from a plane or any of that. I think they need to figure out something else that way on how to start it. But I do think one that's more melee combat related rather than just guns or bows and arrows or whatever. I think that could be interesting.
I think too. I think we're ready for something where you like raise out of the ground instead of like jumping
like a zombie.
No, but like I think it's one of the Hunger Games where they kind of were like underneath and rose up to the map.
Yeah, the second one.
Oh, okay, the second one. Yeah, I think we're ready for something like that instead of having the plane you jump out of or something like that. I think it's time to introduce.
We're gonna
to the
Chuck
map
Norris
in a
this.
different way.
Is that what we're gonna do?
Yeah, I think it could be cool. Tim, what do you say? You got one?
Pong Battle Royale. Let's do it. No, I haven't. You know what? Far Cry would be really cool, and you can play one of the villains.
Yeah, you can play. They've got so many characters.
Yeah, any of the villains, especially in 5, where there's so many other characters. Like that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, they would just need to make it the way that Blackout is, where you can choose your character where they look like this person or that person, but in the game it's just all the same thing. It's just the same person going. They just themed different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, it could totally be that for Far Cry.
I like that. Let us know what IP you think should get the Battle Royale treatment. We will talk about it next week. Thank you guys so much for being here. 346 in the books, which is amazing. Thank you guys so much for being on this journey with us. I'm Gabe Patillo. That is Tim Router. That is Ed Placencia. That is Chris McCracken. And we are married to the games, and we are up out this thing.